Hey YouTube, come on in. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. Happy Friday. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. Listen, I got some questions. When Sheik has questions, she does what? Go live. She goes live. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. You know, it's a lot going on. So we're going to see. We might move around, talk about more than what's popping off in California. But we're going to start there. So come on in. Let's talk about it. Like, share, and subscribe. Haven't caught up with you all in a few days, but that's all right because I'm sure we're going to make up for it with all that we get into today. So come on in, like the video. Mayor Karen Bass has signed an executive order in the state of California, and we're going to get into this executive order. Welcome, Egg Optimist. You say East Coast forever. I live in Georgia. I'm from West Coast. I'm from California, from the Bay Area, but typically, when I talk about California, it's heavy on the southern part of California. I don't know. It's just, I don't know them parts just ain't right in that part of California. Los Angeles, they roll different over there. They roll different. So we're going to talk about it. Yes, Gavin. Old Town Golf, welcome. Yes, Gavin definitely has destroyed California. Karen Bass, she coming in here, putting her stamp on it too. She like, listen, Gavin, you ain't taking it to the pits of hell by yourself. I want some responsibility for that as well. So don't leave me out. Oh, sis, we're not going to leave you out. She like, listen, give me some, Gavin, give me some. So we're going to talk about it. She's signed an executive order. What's up, Brian? Brian Durding said you're a good YouTuber. I like the videos you got. I got to subscribe. Have a good day. Thank you so much, Brian. We getting into some things. I want to talk about this executive order because when I saw she had signed an executive order, I'm like, the hell she signed an executive order for? They are already doing the absolute most out there just on their own. So what we signing executive orders for? So we're going to talk about the executive orders that she signed. And it's coming off of all the foolishness that popped off yesterday at that weed farm. Y'all know anytime weed and trees is a part of a story, anytime the weed and the trees is a part of the story, it's some stuff going on. It is some stuff going on. So yesterday, y'all, did y'all see the man popping up? Did y'all see the man popping off at the ICE agents? Now, they already only got them about 20 of them working. Somebody was shooting at the ICE agent yesterday. Tom Holman want to know who the hell shooting at the ICE agent because he like, we already understaffed. We do not need nobody getting shot up. Who was shooting at the ICE agents? So they got a little video. Yes, they got a video rolling. I was listening to him being interviewed, and they were showing a clip, the camera footage of someone just shot, bang, bang, shoot them up, bang, bang, at the ICE agents. Now, prior to the big, beautiful bill, they said it was only about 2,000 of them, and it's about 20 million illegal immigrants, boots on ground. You already need more than 2,000. So they were like, yo, we got to get this bill signed expeditiously so we can get more resources. But if they shooting at the ICE agents, they about to be down to literally about 20. I told y'all they had about 2,000. So they going to drop off about 2 of them zeros if they keep shooting at the ICE agents because ain't nobody making money like that to be getting shot up all up in the ASS over trying to round up some illegal immigrants. What we doing? Y'all, that's out there. The footage is out there. So ICE rolled up on it was a Child, a tree farm, a weed farm. They was at the weed farm. They rode up at the weed farm. Somebody took a personal, like, listen, y'all rode up in the wrong spot. And next thing you know, they would shoot them up, bang. Yes, it's out there. It is out there, y'all. I don't make nothing up that I report on this channel. It is out there. Child, it was a lot. It was a lot. They said they even rounded up some people, illegal immigrants who were minors working at this marijuana farm. It's just a lot. So coming off of that, we have an executive order signed saying, no, stay away from the Angelinos. Y'all, I done told y'all what popped off yesterday. So the day after all of that, we get an executive order signed to protect all of that. So the federal government can be rolling up and just breaking up all of that illegal activity popping off at the tree farm, aka marijuana farm, aka weed farm. All of that popped off yesterday. Today is Friday. That was on Thursday. It was going down. So we're going to get in. Yes, they had underage workers. It was just a lot, y'all. It was a lot. So I don't know how we get from that to, you know what? We need to sign an executive order. Child, did y'all see the title of the video? Not only is she signing an executive order saying y'all need to stay y'all ASSs away from our locations or whatever. Illegal immigrants, listen, come on. But y'all notice they don't ever throw in the term illegal. It's usually never said. It'll just be immigrants. Have any of y'all peeped that? Illegal a lot of times isn't put in front of the immigrants. The conversations, y'all notice that? It'll just say immigration, immigrants, but that word illegal, child, I don't know. It didn't drop the hell off. It don't be there. It's non-existent. It's non-existent. So she's like, yo, this is what I'm about to do for y'all. I'm about to give y'all a few dollars. I'm going to give you this little debit card and put some dollars on it. And you can take it to the bank, get yourself together, because the way y'all being treated and y'all can't go to work because y'all got to worry about the ICE agents. Don't worry. We done crowdfunded. We got y'all. Meanwhile, homelessness is just off the Richter scales out there in the state of California. So you can crowd fund for illegal, because I'm going to throw in, so anytime I talk about immigration, what I'm not going to not use is illegal in front of it, because that's what the conversation is about. The conversation is about illegal immigration, not immigration. Y'all see what I'm saying? Illegal. So we're going to keep that word there, because I have no problem, like many, I would say most Americans don't have a problem with immigrants being here. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. So a lot of American on the type of time like, yo, come on over here, but we gotta be kosher with this thing. We gotta do it the right way. But that's not what's taking place. So in the meantime, in between time, over on the West Coast in California, in Los Angeles, Mayor Karen Bass has signed an executive order to protect the Angelinos. Yes. So we're going to get into exactly what is this protective order. Come on in, double tap the screen, like the video, because we are going to get into it this Friday night. We're going to get into it. Come on in, drop your comments. Let me know, what's your thoughts? Are you here for the mayor signing an executive order? So this executive order in a nutshell is saying, yo, local offices and things like that, I'm gonna need for y'all to have protocols in place. So therefore, when ICE rolls up, y'all making a phone call to the mayor's office expeditiously. I repeat. When them folks roll up on y'all, the ICE people, when they roll up on y'all, protocol is going to be, you need to place a call to the mayor's office. Y'all need to identify a liaison. Y'all point out y'all person who going to be responsible for when ish get funky to pick up the phone and to give us a call. That is the protocol. because all of this is being put in place to protect the illegal immigrants. Michael said, Mayor don't have that power. Well, I don't know what kind of power she operating off of, but she over there doing something. I'm going to turn my screen around. She did a press conference. Let me see. She did a press conference. Let me play this video, y'all. She doing something. She got some type of rights.
While we are proud of our city's heritage, this is also
like the video
that unfortunately shares a stark parallel to what we're seeing today. In 1931, our plaza here was the site of the forced repatriation of U.S. citizens of Mexican heritage, where raids occurred on unsuspecting visitors to Olvera Street. It's a sad history, but a powerful reminder of what we're facing today. The fear and trauma of so many back then has once again been awakened across our city. But there's also another history, one rooted in hope, unity, and solidarity. Here was where in the 1980s, Father Luis Olivares of the iconic Placita Church, just across the street, initiated the sanctuary movement, declaring the Placita as a sanctuary and safe space for all immigrants and refugees. And myself, as a child of immigrants, I recall those days as an LA kid. I will never forget the news coverage of our own Mayor Tom Bradley standing side by side in solidarity with the sanctuary movement. And so today, I want to thank our Mayor Karen Bass for being here at El Pueblo, continuing that tradition of leadership and resilience. Here at the very heart of Los Angeles, we're here to support you in all efforts to protect our immigrant communities. Thank you, Mayor Bass.
What's up, Francis? Welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for recalling that tradition. You were a young child, I wasn't, but I remember Father Olivares very well, and remember that movement, and that movement continues today and is represented by the people who are standing here with me. So the organizations that are represented, and some you will hear speak today, CHIRLA, the Salvadorian American Leadership and Educational Fund, the Asian Pacific Islander Equity Alliance, Community Coalition, Inclusive Action, and SEIU USWW, continuing the tradition of solidarity in our city. I am here today to sign an executive directive, and I just want to point out the irony for a minute, that there is a need for me to have an executive directive to help our city understand how to protect itself from our federal government. Just let that sink in for a minute. What we have seen here over the last now going on 6 weeks of raids that pop up and we never know exactly when and where they're going to happen. We've seen them in the general region. I'm sure many people saw Camarillo yesterday and what broke out there. We saw MacArthur Park earlier this week, which I think now, after all assessments, it is viewed as just a display of force, just to put the city in its place, to say we are the federal government, we can roll out troops whenever we choose. So the executive directive that I will be signing in a few minutes is to help the city family, to help the city workforce, to help the city departments and all of the general managers essentially develop preparedness plans that have specific protocols and that help how we abide by the law, but we understand what our rights are as city employees, how we can provide protection for immigrants who might be attending a city event or at a city property, but we stay within the law. That we make sure that people that work with city contractors ensure that they are safe on city property. So you might have heard that a few days ago, there were city contractors.
It's crazy, look at that.
And ICE rolled up on them and asked for ID and was inappropriate. And so even people that contract with the city, we want them to understand what their rights are. We want each department to have an immigration affairs liaison. And we want each department that if they encounter any federal officials, that they contact the city, especially the mayor's office, right away, so that we can, number one, make account of this, but also make sure that all the city departments and city workers are informed on how to deal with this. We also want to disseminate information on city services and assistance programs for families that are impacted by federal enforcement actions. And we are submitting a FOIA, a Freedom of Information Act request regarding the dates and locations of all enforcement activities in Los Angeles. I think you've heard me repeat every time I speak before you that when people are taken from our city, we do not necessarily know where they are going. They are not provided regular access to families or to legal counsel, and that the family members that are left behind don't know whether their family members are in the city, in the state, or even in the country. And we also know that when these raids have been happening, it's not just people who are undocumented, but people who are in the country legally, people who are showing up for their annual immigration visit, or even sometimes U.S. citizens who have been detained. So once again, I just want to repeat the irony that I am going to sign an executive directive to help the city family understand how to protect the workforce and Angelenos from our federal government. With that, I would like to introduce Angelica Salas from CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles.
Thank you so much, Mayor Bass, and thank you so much
Mayor
for your
Bass,
leadership.
speaking there, talking about an executive director she's about to sign that she says is ironic to, quote, protect itself, protect the city of Los Angeles from the federal government. As she said, let that sink in. She said that it will provide guidance on to city employees, city departments, to help them abide by the law, but also to keep people safe who are attending city events or in city buildings, etc.
She also was saying Freedom of Information Act for all of the people who've been detained so that these families know their whereabouts. And also later today, an LA judge expected to make a ruling today on whether raids and detentions are indeed constitutional. So something else.
So basically what's happening is that the mayor, Karen Bass, she's signed an executive order that's outlined guidelines for like the state for businesses and things to follow. Let's see what it says. Follow along with me. Hey, what's up, Jose Wayne? What's up, everyone? Come on in, like the video. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signed executive directive order to help immigrants cults raids, display of force. Let's get into exactly what is this executive order. So right now we're on the KTI.com news. If you want to know where this information is coming from, it's out there. Google it. Breaking news for today, July 11, 2025. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signed a new executive order Friday aimed at strengthening city protections for immigrant communities in the wake of what she described as unlawful and chaotic federal immigration raids across the region. During the news conference, Bass called the directive necessary to help Los Angeles understand how to protect itself from our federal government, referencing a series of immigration enforcement actions that have occurred in the city over the past 6 weeks, including recent incidents in MacArthur Park and Ventura County. Quote, we saw MacArthur Park earlier this week, which I think now, after all assessments, is viewed as a display of force, Bass says, just to put the city in its place to say, quote, we are the federal government and we roll out troops whenever we choose, end quote. The new order, the executive director, number 12, requires all city departments to submit preparedness plans within 2 weeks that include department-specific protocols and training. These plans must outline how city employees, including contractors, should respond if approached by federal immigration agents on city property while remaining compliant with both federal law and local ordinances. That's the part where I'm stuck on, because being in compliant would be, hey, when they roll up, you step to the left. To the left, to the left. Isn't that how Beyonce's song, she said, goddamn, move, your ish is to the left. Your ish is to the left. So if you're rolling out a protocol on what to do or whatever, that's giving that you're wanting to go against whatever the federal government, you on this F what you said type tip, because why do you need to roll out some type of protocol of what to do? The protocol should be move to move to the left. Move to the left so the ICE can come in and do their jobs. Why? Because they are federal agents. But that's not what's popping off. That's not what's popping off. Let's carry on. Please come on in, like the video, double tap the screen. Bass said the goal is to ensure city workers and residents, particularly immigrants, know their rights and can safely access city services without fear. Listen, we need these illegal immigrants to know they can move around in these U.S. streets without any fear. Now, damn the American citizens who got all kinds of fear in them because of illegal immigrants rolling up in here into the U.S. doing the absolute most, which is not arguable. Everybody know it's a lot of illegal activity that takes place when illegal immigrants come into our country. Now, I will add, American citizens, we can get it on and popping on our own. We dang sure don't need no help from somebody else coming up in the country doing the absolute most, because we already are more than capable of doing the most. So what I'm saying is we don't need nobody coming up in our country adding to the situation. I'll carry on. She emphasized that all departments should designate an immigrant affairs liaison and report any federal enforcement activity to the mayor's office immediately, aka expeditiously. So she's like, yo, when them folks roll up in here, I'm gonna need for y'all to pick up the phone and call us. Y'all need to call me. Y'all need to call me. Why? Because she's going to come down there and try to regulate, as we've seen her do on camera. That is the only reason why they need to call her. If you're saying we're going to be in compliance with federal law, why do somebody need to call you? That means because y'all about to be ready to get it on and popping. That is why you want them folks to call you. The article goes on to say, we want to disseminate information on city services and assistance programs for families that are impacted by federal enforcement actions, Bass said. Even people that contract with the city, we want them to understand what their rights are. Listen, Karen, listen, if you are Angelino's illegal, legal, whatever, because she was already on record saying 50% of California is immigrants, aka illegal. We know, but I think I read on the internet at least 40% of the population in California consists of illegal immigrants. So she's like, listen, you live in Los Angeles, you get all the rights that are offered here in America. Like you get the red carpet rolled out for you, including a check, but we're going to get to that part. The directive comes days after the mayor announced legal action against the Trump administration in response to immigration raids, which she described as unconstitutional and reckless. Bass pointed to an incident where materialized federal vehicles were deployed in MacArthur Park while children attended summer camp nearby, calling it an effort to instill fear in immigrant communities. Immigration agents seen urinating on grounds of Pico Rivera School, officials say. I saw a clip of that on the news earlier this week where it looked to be immigration agents going behind maybe it looks like a big trash dumpster or something. And it did look like they were urinating. At that point, I had not heard a statement being made from ICE, Homeland Security, or whatever, but I did see that footage, and allegedly that footage took place on a school grounds, I think at a high school, but nearby there were children on campus at an elementary school, I guess for the summer camp. The article goes on to say, we are proud of immigrants, she said. She didn't put members. They always failed to put the illegal in front of it. We are proud of, we are a proud city of immigrants, she said. And with the Trump administration signaling that they will ratchet up their chaotic approach, I'm making sure we deploy every resource and tool available within the city. The directive also establishes a new LAPD-led working group that will collaborate with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, immigrants' rights organization, and community leaders. This group will help develop additional guidance for how officers should respond to immigration enforcement. What more do you need other than, yeah, I'm going to the left? I done told y'all the directive. Play the Beyonce song if in the background if you need a reminder. Sometimes folks need a guidance. God damn it, Beyonce said to the left, to the left. That is what the ICE people are saying. We don't need nothing else. You just need to know, goddamn, roll on to the left when the ICE folks come on. But we're going to continue. Bass also ordered the submission of the Freedom of Information Act request to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to obtain records related to immigration raids in Los Angeles, including dates, locations, arrest reasons, and use of identifiers such as badges and masks by federal agents. Listen, she like, listen, I'm gonna need for you to prove yourself to me, not the other way around. Karen, like, I know y'all the feds. I'm just a damn play over here in the States, but I'm gonna need for y'all to show me something. This is what I'm gonna need for you to do. And meanwhile, they throwing the middle finger up at her and the state of California. In the raids is not just people who are undocumented, but people who are in this country legally, people who are showing up for their annual immigration visit, or even sometimes U.S. citizens who have been detained, Bass says. When people are taken from our city, we do not necessarily know where they are going. That is a true statement. But here's the thing. Before ICE has rolled up anywhere, they've been yelling from the rooftops, we on our damn way. We are on our way. They were saying that prior to Trump being elected as president, we are on our way. So why people be running around acting delusional like they don't know why what they seeing is popping off the way it is? This man ran on this. Half of the doggone Hispanic the population, they voted for him. So I'm still stuck on why the hell they damn confused, because you had more of them voting for him who was at risk of getting sent up the river than the ones who weren't. But let's carry on. The directive reinforces existing city policies, including Special Order 40 from the LAPD, which prohibits officers from initiating action solely to determine immigration status, and 2024 ordinance that bans city resources from being used to support federal immigration enforcement. Bass closed her remarks by again highlighting the irony of needing to protect the city from its own federal government. Quote, I just want to repeat the irony that I am going to sign an executive directive to help the city family understand how to protect the workforce and Angelenos from our federal government. Y'all, this is crazy. This is insane. This is insane. And so, remember, I told y'all she handing out checks. Karen is handing out checks. In addition, Bass' plan is being worked out to provide cash assistance to those affected by the enforcement operations. The Los Angeles Times reported cash cards with a couple of $100. What that mean, y'all? They sent a couple of $100. A couple of $100 on them will be distributed by immigrants' rights groups in about a week. Bass said, y'all, where y'all think these funds are coming from? The money will not come from city coffers, but from philanthropic partners. Y'all think this coming from some of them organizations that the Doge team found? Y'all know they was finding little organizations for the damn Save the Children with three. Y'all know them fake organizations that they was allocating and putting money towards to justify our money going into to be paying out. I'm wondering if the funds to pay the legal immigrants is coming from one of them accounts, because how is your homelessness is so out of control. How long we been talking about getting homelessness out of control in the state of California? I am from California. I'm from the Bay Area. Homelessness been a thing since goddamn all my life. I had to fight. I'm 44 years old. Homelessness has been out of control all my life. Why we couldn't crowdfund to help get homelessness under control? But though we can crowdfund to get a check out to illegal immigrants, y'all, I be goddamn just trying to understand. I be trying to understand. There's a quote in here when someone says, you're telling me that this isn't Babylon B headliner? A White House spokesperson told Fox News Digital, referring to the satirical satirical news site, recent immigration enforcement in California has resulted in successfully detaining countless violent criminals and liberating children from illegal labor exploitation. But instead of helping these children or putting American citizens first, Bass is doubling down on her defense of illegal aliens. Money, talking about what the hell about reparations, y'all. I be saying our government, they can come up with, they're always, let me turn this, y'all. Let me turn this around. So y'all can. Our government has been on this. Tasha K, we ain't got it since, I don't know, all my life. We ain't got it. But it seemed like when it comes to just ish that benefits the government, then suddenly they can come up with the funds, i.e. war, alligator Alcatraz, cutting checks to illegal immigrants. But working class Americans who need help and resources, such as homelessness, our vets, people who have lost their jobs recently. I wonder how many of those people have already been told no to benefits such as EBT/food stamps. Because, don't believe that just because you're without a job, that you, as an American taxpayer, that you automatically qualify for any of these benefits. Not if you're getting some type of check. No matter how big or small that check is, on an unemployment check, they will straight up tell you, because I experienced it myself. No, ma'am. Although you were laid off and you have 3 kids, whatever, you do not qualify for EBT because you're collecting an unemployment check. An unemployment check that was like $243 after tax per week. So because I got that check per week, they said, hey, no, you do not qualify. But you know who do get the yes? The illegal immigrants. Many of them have been on records talking about how they've collected government benefits since they've been here while being illegal. And did y'all know that they was even getting free college education? Y'all, I didn't know that. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know that. I saw today, and we probably can get into it on this video as well, I'll bring it up, where the Trump has cut the free education for illegal immigrants. What? Meanwhile, I'm getting notices talking about, hey, effective March, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo 2025, you need to start paying back student loans. But I'm learning that, Trump is now stopping free education for illegal immigrants. Why was illegal immigrants getting free education? Remember, they tell us we ain't got it. Anytime we need it. Remember, they done told me in 2011 when I wanted an EBT card for my family, we ain't got it. But though I'm learning that up until now, the illegal immigrants have been getting free college education. Y'all, let me bring that up. Let's get into it. We getting into it today. Happy Friday. We getting into it today. Let me know your thoughts on any of the material that I talk about today, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Let me bring up the information pertaining to these, the free education for illegal immigrants. Let me see. Let me find a good article to bring up. Okay, so let's get into it. We're on the New York Post. Come on in, double tap the screen to like the video. We getting into it. Y'all get comfortable. We getting into it. We talking about some things today. New York Post, Trump moves to bar illegal immigrants from aid for education health programs. Let's get into it. Come on. The Trump administration moved Thursday to block illegal immigrants from accessing taxpayer-funded aid to enroll in education programs and receive health care benefits. The Department of Education, Agriculture, Labor, Justice, and Health and Human Services made separate announcements Thursday, touting savings of around $40 billion. Hell, remember they done told me in 2011, I ain't got it. Hell, did they not have it because, hell, they dishing out the billions of dollars to the illegal immigrants? We talking about it. HHS called the change a significant policy shift that will ensure that taxpayer-funded program benefits intended for American people are not diverted to subsidize illegal aliens. Under President Trump's leadership, hardworking American taxpayers will no longer foot the bill for illegal aliens to participate in our career, technical, or adult education programs or activities. Education Secretary Linda McMahon also said in a statement, quote, the department will ensure that taxpayer funds are reserved for citizens and individuals who have entered our country through legal means who meet federal eligibility criteria. Makes sense to me. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins announced that the state should also be preventing migrants from accessing benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Program, which is also known as SNAP. This is crazy. About time, right? This is crazy. But then they talk about this $1 billion, this $1 trillion debt that we got. Well, hell, I wonder why. Look. Let me just stay focused. The generosity of the American taxpayer has long been abused by faulty interpretations of the 1996 welfare reform law, Rollins said. The Department of Labor moved to prevent several workforce development grants and resources from going to migrants. States and cities, with the help of federal monies, have shouldered a bulk of the cost of migrant influx during former President Joe Biden's administration. That's why we're here. This is why we're here, because even when Obama was in office, Obama was getting them up out of here. People wasn't kicking and screaming when Obama was getting up out of here. Remember, Obama had the babies that was crossing over in cages. Y'all remember when Obama had them babies in cages? When they made it over to the border, Obama had them sitting there in cages. Then eventually the kids left the cages, went into the federal government system, and child, don't ask me where them babies at. They can't even tell you, or they won't tell you where them babies at. Nobody knows where those babies are. But let's carry on. New York City has shelled out at least $3 billion to house migrants since 2022, putting some new arrivals up in luxury hotels like the Row. Last year alone, the Big Apple received $81 million from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to help shelter migrants. Y'all, I told y'all that even with Alligator Alcatraz, that cost $450 million. Well, if you're new to my channel, you probably maybe not be aware of this information. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because y'all, I come with you. Listen, I do what I do. I play no games about it. I come and I report this information that I find that's out here. Alligator Alcatraz, it will cost $450 million to manage that. So annually, that's how much money that it will cost. Someone today, recently, I think it was yesterday, I was listening to a news clip or something, and they broke it down. That's about $250 a day per migrant that's held over there, to equate to the type of money that will be paid out to keep that going. Somebody said, hell, we ain't even paying that kind of money to go stay at a hotel. How many of y'all, when you travel, you putting $250 down a night regularly at a hotel? Remember, I told y'all this is per day for each immigrant that is held at Alligator Alcatraz. Half of the $450 million bill is being sent to FEMA. FEMA, the same ones who they questioning their availability of resources that's going out there to Texas. But that's a whole nother story. It might be a whole nother live. The Trump agencies changed Clinton-era interpretations of the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunities Reconciliation Act of '96, a law that permitted some welfare and benefits programs to be made available to non-citizens. A number of HHS programs have now been reclassified as federal public benefits under the PRWORA, including Head Start, a comprehensive early childhood education program. Head Start's classification under the new PRWORA interpretation puts American families first by ensuring taxpayer-funded benefits are reserved for eligible individuals, explained HHS Acting Assistant Secretary Andrew Gradison. So they like, listen, we low on funds. So what we can't do is just be giving it out to people who are not American tax-paying citizens. The changes are a part of the Trump administration's broader no amnesty and zero tolerance immigration policy. Recently, that's included crackdown on states and officer legal immigrant special agent privileges and opening of Alligator Alcatraz, a new migrant detention center in the middle of the Florida swamps. McMahon Department affirmed the policy change will ensure that post-secondary education programs authorized under the Higher Education Act, HEA, such as Pell Grants and student loans, continue to be inaccessible to illegal immigrants, period. To know that wasn't already popping off, y'all. For too long, the government has diverted hardworking American tax dollars to incentivize illegal immigration, said HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Today's actions changes that. It restores integrity to federal social programs, enforces the rule of law, and protects vital resources for American people. That's what the freak I'm talking about. These changes are in line with the February executive orders that directed Trump administration agencies to identify all federally funded programs administered by the agency that currently permit illegal aliens to obtain any cash or non-cash public benefit, and to take all appropriate actions to align such programs with PRWORA and federal law. All the time, Trump argued that through the PRWORA's written policy does ban illegal immigrants from accessing most taxpayer-funded benefits. It fails to achieve that. The president noted that over the past 3 decades, numerous administrations have acted to undermine the principles and limitations directed by the Congress. In particular, Trump charged that his predecessor repeatedly undercut the goals of that law, resulting in the improper expenditure of significant taxpayer resources. So, y'all, listen. The debt is debting because it's like this. Monies that's been going to everybody, whether you legal, not legal, whether you a criminal, not a criminal. Listen, free for all, you can get it. Like, treat it like it's Oprah's favorite things at Christmas time. You can get a check. You can get a check. Oh, American, no, you got to wait in line. Oh, you an immigrant? All right, you can get a check. Y'all notice how a lot of times it's easier for for immigrants. Let me just say immigrants to get, y'all ever notice, some of y'all might have experienced it where you maybe got denied business loans and things like that, resources, but immigrants get told yes, business loans, starting up business. How many immigrants are running businesses here in the U.S.? Probably most of the damn businesses is probably owned or ran by an immigrant. Now the question is, are they legal? Are they legal? This that issue I'm talking about, because as we've come to see, they get told yay far more than we do. We get told, nay, get out my face. Get out my face. Miss me with that. And don't nobody be trying to hear the Americans when we talked about we are in need. Oh, but soon as somebody is an immigrant, then you want to roll out the red carpet for them, including the damn white South Africans. We gonna talk about it. Everybody can get it. And I'm tired of seeing that, how people who are not from here, they get a better treatment than the people who are from here. And that's an entire problem. Y'all see them people over in Mexico showing their behind out because they like, oh, hey. They pissed off at the white folks coming there because now it's the gentrification, and because the white people coming there, y'all know if this white is right, y'all, that's worldwide. Listen, if this white is right, the Mexicans like, listen, when the white folks rolling up in here, it's driving the cost of things up. It's messing it up. So here it is, they're having the same type of problems and grievances that we have here in the U.S. Hey, when illegal immigrants are here, it's messing things up for the American people. So here's this thing I want to talk about. People be talking about how the Mexicans, the illegal immigrants, do the jobs that the American people don't want to do. Let's pause there, because I don't believe that it's necessary that the American people don't want to do these jobs. The American people want to get paid for what they're worth. The American people do not want to do these jobs for pennies on the dollar. They're not. The American people do not want to work in agriculture for $3.25 an hour. So it's not that the American people don't want to do these jobs or will not. The American people want to be paid with their work. And how it's determined what the value is based off of the cost of living. Where can you go in the U.S. and live off of minimum wage and then less than minimum wage? You can't even live off the minimum wage. But these illegal immigrants aren't even getting paid minimum wage. Y'all, there was this one guy. So early on in the year when Trump started doing the ICE crackdown and they was rounding them up. And there was a farmer, and he was just talking about the impact to his business and how all his workers had pretty much got ghosts because they was all running them hiding. And they asked him about just paying American workers. That man said, listen up. If I were to pay American workers minimum wage, I will be out of business in a year. He would say, I'm on my Tasha K. I ain't got it. I cannot afford it. I cannot afford to pay minimum wage. It is what it is. This is what that man said. So miss me with the Americans, the blacks won't do the jobs, the whites won't do, miss me with all that. American people are not trying to do these jobs where they know that they are being underpaid. They not going to do it. And you got the nerve to be talking about no benefits either. You get cussed out. You get cussed out. So now I've talked about it, and I don't know if it's been still in heavy conversation with Trump as of late, but prior to the big, beautiful bill, Trump had kind of backpedaled and said, you know what? Listen, I've been talking to the farmers. And they saying, you messing up. We gonna be on the soup line, President Trump. We all gonna be on the soup line. You done scared off my damn workers. You done sent them to El Salvador. I just got me, my wife, and my 3 sons, and we out here trying to man this damn land at the farm. Trump, we gonna be on the damn soup line. We gonna be on the soup line. So now Trump's like, all right. Let me look at this again. Let me look at this. Let me change the rules. So what I'm going to probably likely do, this is what he said, y'all. It's out here. Go look for it. He said, I'm going to go ahead and consider just signing an executive order that says if you are an illegal immigrant and you work in agriculture, hospitality, and construction, you can stay. Because these farmers, they got these wonderful workers that they've had for 10 plus years. Why to know that people have been over here illegally putting up numbers like that? You mean to tell me in 10 plus freaking years, you ain't found a way to get down to that state, that local county office to get your paperwork in order? So Trump's like, yo, these farmers, you know, they don't deserve this. They got these great workers. If you don't... Player. See, Taco, this that issue I'm talking about, Taco. This is that issue I'm talking about. What we not going to do is act like we didn't know that these farmers were going to be impacted. The vast majority of the damn illegal immigrants work in agriculture, hospitality, construction. The only other field I can think of where they working in that he didn't name is the goddamn car wash. That's the only other field that he didn't name, that he didn't exempt, the damn car wash. Because they all in the other industry. Y'all tell me I'm lying. Put it in this comment. Where the freak the damn illegal immigrants working? They in the goddamn fields. They damn somewhere in the fields doing something to get the damn corn and the cabbage, the collard greens. They in the damn fields. Or they in the meat. Y'all know. Y'all already know where they at. They in the hospital, in the restaurant. The Holiday Inn, the Hampton, the Marriott, y'all know where them people at. So if you saying the tire shop, Monique said at the tire shop, I got black ones, Africans at my tire shop, the tire shop around here. So listen, player, if you said that agriculture is exempt, hospitality is exempt, and construction, because that's all D.R. Horton to build around here work. I don't never see no white man on top of nobody damn roof with a damn hammer and some nails. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen no white man. I ain't seen no black man. I ain't seen no African man. They all don't speak English. That's who on the damn top of the roof. So if you're talking about making exempt for all of them, if you're going to make an exempt for all of them, who the hell? That's everybody. You talking about? You about this player. This, that ish that I'm talking about. They everywhere. This, that ish that I'm talking about. These are the industries that they're in. So what the freak are you talking about? You might as well close up shop. Stop putting these ICE agents life online and send them home. Just go tell them to man the border. If you're saying, okay, don't touch these people, but you can tell, okay, you can go on up there to Mr. Clean Car Wash. You can go up there to Dave's Tire Shop, but you need to stay away from the hotels. You need to stay away from the construction sites, and then you need to stay away from the fields. Player, what are we doing? You playing games now. You are playing games. You are playing games. But I know that this is rooted in money. This is rooted in money, because people who are having their pockets hit, these businesses, they ringing up Trump's line like, yo, like, listen, I voted for you. You want Republicans to be voted again? I'm gonna need for you to we need to make some changes. We need to make some changes, because this right here, this ain't working. So he's talked about he is considering making some exemptions. This is what he said. He said, look it up, Breezy. This man said he is considering making some exemptions for the people who work in these industry. And that's on that. Don't argue with me, argue with your mama. How about that? So go look into it. This is what this man is considering it. He's considering it. He was, but y'all know he will change his mind. Don't think that just because you heard him say something on Tuesday that it's going to hold and he going to feel the same and have that same energy by Friday. This is what he was saying prior to the approval of the big, beautiful bill. Now, is this still his stance? I don't know, because listen, we already know how the Trumpster move. He don't always stand on business like that, as we've come to see. He don't be standing on business like that. But this is what he was saying upwards of about 2-3 weeks ago. The weed farm, what Rick said, it was a weed farm. Yes, the marijuana farm yesterday, they raided it. It was on and popping at the farm. It was on and popping in the midst of that raid. There were, let's see, let me find that article that talked about the raid, because they said there were underage children, underage, minors that were illegal that were at the farm. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Let's get back to it. This is Fox News. Bass has condemned immigration operations targeting criminal illegal immigrants in the city. Los Angeles is one of several cities suing the Trump administration over unlawful raids. Immigrant agents on Thursday raided a cannabis farm in nearby Ventura County to target illegal immigrants working there. 10 illegal immigrant minors, 8 of them unaccompanied, were found at the farm, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott said. The farm is now being investigated for potential child labor violations. Earlier this week, nearly 100 National Guard troops and immigration authorities targeted crime-ridden MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, prompting Bass to go to the park to demand a halt to the operation, which was rebuffed by the U.S. Border Patrol Chief Gregory Brovino. Quote, I don't work for Karen Bass, Brovino told Fox News at the time. Better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon. We will go anywhere, anytime we want in Los Angeles, period. And that's on that. So already in the past 30 days, since I think it's a little more than 30 days now since ICE aggressively went into Los Angeles to do roundup of illegal immigrants. They've already arrested over 2,000 illegal immigrants already, over 2,000. Trump had a goal of wanting each year to have at least 1 million illegal immigrants rounded up off of the streets of the U.S. So that would have them to have a daily goal of about 3,000 arrests per day. But as most recently, I've heard talks of it being increased to 7,000 arrests per day. And that was coming off of the passing of the Big Beautiful Bill. I do know that within the Big Beautiful Bill, they were wanting more resources for ICE, for the federal, to get more federal agents on the streets. They wanted more. So that's when I'm thinking about going from 3,000 to 7,000 arrests per day. I'm thinking maybe because they have increased their workforce. So they have kind of more boots on the ground. Child, it's going down. Y'all let me know. I'm going to try to get through some of these comments. I'm not here for Karen Bash shenanigans. I'm just going to say that. I am here for the Trump administration aggressively getting this illegal immigration situation under control, because it has been out of control for a very long time. And that was the primary reason why I voted for him. It's out of control. It's out of control. And the more things unfold, the more it's really making me just feel gratitude for the Trump administration aggressively taking this approach to remove illegal immigrants. Let me see. Let's see. I'm trying to get through some of these comments. So Penelope, what's up? Welcome everyone. Double tap the screen, hit the like button. Happy Friday. Penelope says, I worked for years in Philadelphia Child Care Center. So many immigrant children fill spots every year that help pay our teachers and staff through government funding. I bet. So here's the thing. So like in Georgia where I live, when my kids were going to school, they had like the program for like, so it's like the Georgia pre-K program. So it's like a lottery program, and it's like first come, first serve. So just imagine, I remember when my second born child went being in line early in the morning, getting in line to be able to get the lottery ticket, basically I was in line just for my name to go on a list. You see what I'm saying? So I'm in a line. So not only am I in the line with American citizens, I'm in the line with illegal immigrants. Remember, it's first come, first serve. If there's only 40 slots, say 2 classes with 20 kids in each class, but you have more than that in line. So imagine like your child not getting a slot to get into this program that's funded through the government, but though, it's paid for through your tax dollars, and you're not getting a slot, but an illegal immigrant getting a slot. Just why? Because they were in line, and let's just say they just happened to have been in line in front of you. But should they have been able to be in line, period? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. But that stuff that I'm talking about. So now there's fewer resources available for the taxpayers, the taxpayer American citizens like myself or some of you, because we're in line with illegal immigrants. Should we ever be in line with illegal immigrants? They need to have a separate line. There should be a separate line, and that line should be going out the door, lining them up to go back home. An illegal immigrant should never be in line with an American citizen when it comes to just anything, especially when it comes to government, state resources. And that's on that. And that is on that. Come on in here, double tap the screen, like the video. May Sam said this so-called mayor has to be working with the cartels. Big Smoke said he spent less than a third of his presidency actually working. We're definitely seeing movement. I will say that when it comes to the illegal immigration, we are seeing movement, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. But as we're seeing movement, just about everything that President Trump is doing is being blocked at some point by local state government, and then going up to federal government. So it's hard to kind of really do things expeditiously when it's constantly being kind of blocked, and then it got to go up for discussion and all of that. So it just holds up the situation. Then I'm also hearing how the ICE agents' lives are just like on the line. Listen, I told y'all yesterday there was somebody pulled out a pew pew and started popping off at the ICE agents. So I was listening to Border Czar Tom Homan, and they were just talking about it's just a matter of time before we read in the headlines that an ICE agent was seriously hurt or possibly even worse. And it's just not even worth it. I mean, for me, I wouldn't want my loved one signing up to do that job because I personally don't think it's worth it. I don't think that any amount of money that they could be paying. I've looked it up before some months back on the type of pay that the ICE agents makes, child, and it ain't worth all it. Like, what is worth your life being put on the line like that? It's crazy. And their life, I think they're said it's like 900, child, it's some crazy number at the percentage of how much these people's lives have the risk of their lives has been put on the line. Like, it's crazy. It's not worth it. I personally don't believe it's worth it. They're already shorthanded with ICE agents. Remember, they already only had 2,000 prior to the signing of the big beautiful bill. They need more. Any of y'all, let me know who in here willing to go sign up to be an ICE agent. Did y'all see them doggone did y'all see the fight between in Chicago with the black folks? I think they were supposed to be some Haitians mixed in with some black Americans fighting off the people trying to do arrests. I think they was bounty hunters or whatever. Y'all seen that out there in the news? Like, that stuff I'm talking about. Let me see, y'all. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can show y'all, child, because I'm just like, you know what? Let me see. I'm gonna turn the sound off because I don't want no copyright. But y'all, let me show y'all. I done told y'all that the black folks are different kind of people. I've had people come in my chat be like, well, they're gonna come for the black people. I said, listen, I need for y'all to understand how the black folks today in 2025, they just move different than any other group of people out there. We real different. If y'all ain't figured it out yet, y'all know we real different. Don't nobody do it like we do. Let me show y'all what I mean by that. Let me show y'all what I mean by that. Let's get into it. So this the folks coming up on the black folks. Have y'all seen it looking like this in Los Angeles? Y'all see them people look like me. Don't it look real different? It's a different kind of energy. Look, now listen, baby girl getting it in with some flip-flops. The band, the ICE agent on the damn ground. Look at him. He on the damn ground. I done told y'all we different. I done told y'all that we real different. So it ain't gonna be, let me replay this. Let me replay this again. Y'all see, we real different. Y'all see, I done told y'all. So if they, people be like, well, black folks, y'all, not that I think you, okay, say that. But this is, I'm giving y'all a depiction of what it looked like when they look like me versus Maria. Y'all see, it's a different kind of energy. I walked away after watching this with the question of, did anybody get loaded in the paddy wagon? Did they get anybody in the paddy wagon? Listen, did they walk, did whoever, because I think they said they weren't ICE agents, they were bounty hunters. Did they get anybody? That's what I was wondering. Did they get, listen, like ICE agent, get up off the ground. Did you get anybody? But again, I don't know if it's ICE agent. It could have been a bounty hunter. But listen, I'm just telling you that we different. We different. So as y'all talk about, black folks, they coming for you too. All right, well, the day that pop off, that's kind of what that's going to look like. I don't know if they going to have enough of them ICE agents in all the land in the U.S. to be able to just to even handle a family with the last name Williams. I don't think they going to have enough agents. But this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. So if you're not here on the up and up, just Wednesday, they were bounty hunters. So they weren't ICE agents. So bounty hunter is not a federal position. They were just bounty hunters. I hope they made some money because I know they all had to go home and soak in some damn Epsom salt. That man hit that ground about 3-4 times when he was trying to get Brenda into the paddy wagon. It was not working. She wasn't goddamn going. She like, listen, I got my kids. She got her 3 brothers out there. The uncle, y'all know it hits different when you come into our communities. And that's too why a lot of like with the illegal immigrants, the Hispanic community, they were kind of mad that Black people weren't trying to rally around and get caught up in their situation, because they know that when it comes to ish like this, we'll come together. Now, y'all know we'll fight each other, but when it comes to like this, as you seen in the clip, we gonna come together. We gonna let them come together. And other groups of people know that we do well with coming together, which is why they like to bring us into their situations when they're going through the struggle. Any other times, okay, y'all Black folks, y'all stay over there. But when it's time to fight, who are they calling? They calling Keisha folks and Marcus folks. Y'all know they are calling on us when it is time to fight. Because one thing we know how to do is fight. It's in our DNA. It's in our history. All my life I had to fight. We know about fighting. So that's why other groups of people want to bring Black people into the mix to fight. But Black people are starting to become they're starting to become smarter. We're like, yo, we gonna sit this out because we be having to fight our own battles. And we know when we show up to your fight, the energy is going to increase just by our presence. Y'all have seen this play out just as I've covered these videos in Los Angeles. Y'all, we have seen time after time, these other group of people get these passes that we know people that look like me wouldn't have gotten. They would have gotten them, had the old school. Y'all remember the water hose in the old movie they used to show with the police sprayers with the, y'all, we would have got mollywop day one. It wouldn't be no, okay, multiple days and weeks and things of that where Black people showing the freak out. Y'all know we don't get them type of passes. We are literally like a one and done. Like we're a one and done. So we already knew like, yo, if we show up to y'all's situation, they're going to put more energy on us than you. And we out there with you for your fight. You see what I'm saying? So we like, nah, we gonna sit over here, do a silent prayer, place the phone call to make sure you and grandma and grandpa are good, but we can't go out there to that fight. Because as you've seen, I just showed you what our fight looked like. This is what our fight looked like. We need to save our energy for our fight. You see that? These people were rested because they wasn't out fighting, showing up for somebody else's fight. Listen, you see big girl, look, she got the flip. I'm going to say they didn't leave with her. I'm just going to say they didn't leave with her. There's nothing about this altercation that's given that they got that woman in anybody's vehicle. I'm just saying. I think she's still at the crib. I think she's still at the crib. And I think it's a reason why the ICE people say, you know what? Bounty hunters, y'all can go over there to that neighborhood because, yeah, we don't want to go over there. ICE agents then showed up into Los Angeles neighborhood. Why the hell they didn't show up into the Chicago neighborhood? They was like, you know what, bounty hunter? Yeah, we'll give you $1,000 a head. Y'all can go over here and take that one. We gonna sit this one out. We know better. We ain't going over there. We ain't gonna go over there effing with them people. We know some of them ain't got their papers, whatever, but we will pay you if you go over there. Bounty hunters like, I think they didn't realize what the freak they was about to sign up for. But I bet you they know now. I bet you they know now. Them ICE agents knew what them bounty hunters had coming in. They knew what they had coming. That's why they didn't go. They was like, we gonna outsource this community. They were like, we gonna outsource this one. We'll go. We got Los Angeles. Bounty hunters, y'all can have Chicago. Y'all, Chirac? Why y'all think they call it Chirac? Them damn ICE agents like, shit, they ain't paying me enough for all that. Bounty hunters, you can have that. You can have that. And that is what we seen. That's what that looks like when the ICE agents sit out. They choose to sit out a certain zip code. They chose to sit that one out. They was like, that ain't my territory. They ain't paying me enough for all of this. They're not paying me enough for all of this. So I'm just like, everybody needed Epsom salt that night. The black folks, the bounty hunters, everybody. Everybody, they probably had some kids out there slinging, throwing, throwing bows too. That we probably don't see in this video. Cause y'all ever seen at a family reunion where somebody then damn the cousins get to fighting and arguing, and next thing you know, everybody then started fighting. What's up, virtuous woman? Like, this is what that's giving. Like, somebody then got it on and popping at the cookout, at the family reunion. Lord, somebody to hit somebody kid. Y'all know you can't be hitting on somebody kid that ain't your kid. It went down. It's so many stories or scenarios that you could come up with to talk about what had happened. What had happened. Monique Smith said, I live in Chicago, and the things that are happening in New York and California are not happening in Chicago. I bet the hell they ain't. For one, listen, they ain't going to Chirac, and then you got them Haitians out there too in Chicago. Shit, they ain't gonna be putting no damn root on me. Y'all know the Haitians don't play when it comes to the damn roots. Now, they will put that work on you. They will put that work on you. Do not listen. Don't sleep on the roots. Them Haitians, they'll put that work on you. They will put that work on you. Y'all think the government don't know nothing about work? Y'all think the government don't know nothing about work? How often we see in news headlines where the government be coming hard for people coming out of Africa? Out of Africa. Hey, y'all know y'all don't see that. They'll come from us for us Black Americans. They'll come from, but y'all don't see them coming all hard like that for them Africans. The white man like, I ain't messing with them. They ain't finna be putting no work on me. I'm leaving them Africans alone, them islanders, Rihanna, you, all your cousins, y'all good. Y'all can be over here. They know better. That's why they sent the damn bounty hunters in there. I wonder if they gonna sign up to go back. If they gonna block, they probably gonna block the government. Be like, we ain't taking no request. Nah, we good. We not taking orders. we not taking no more orders right now. I'm just saying, y'all, it's a reason. These governments, the government, they ain't crazy. They know who to F with. They know who to F with. They know who to F with and who not to F with. It is what it is, you know. It is what it is. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Let me see what we got going on. T.D. Davis says there are people in the midst of legalization process. Look it up. Yes, there were people. There's been people who've been getting arrested, being in the process of the legalization process. But here's the thing. Being in the process and being legal, that's two different things. President Trump is like, yo, if you're not already legal, you need to leave. You see what I'm saying? He's like it's just that simple. It's no being in the process. If you are currently at this time not legal, you have to roll up out of here. Listen, y'all, this shit ain't that damn deep. People making this stuff deeper than really what it is. It's not that deep. It's real basic. He's like, yo, like you're in the process, but you haven't crossed the finish line. The race is over. It's over. It's over. It is over. Phyllis Hall says, T.D. Davis, what rights are you talking about? They are not U.S. citizen. If you come in illegally, they got to go. If they want to come here, do it the right way. No cutting the line. Like, I don't understand why that whole concept is just like an argument. Like, the idea of like, why is it so hard for people to understand that? Anywhere we go, even like I told y'all, like with the people over there in Mexico, and they're mad about people, in particular, the white man being over there in Mexico, and it's resulting in the prices of things, the costs been driven up due to, what do you call that, gentrification and all of that, even for people over there in Mexico. So this is what I'm hearing about, like with Mexico. Mexico has, and you all can let me know because I haven't gone over to Mexico. What I'm hearing is that Mexico has open borders, which means that you can just drive into Mexico. Let me know if that's true. Can you just drive into Mexico? Because I was listening to another content creator online, and he was talking about how he stopped going to Mexico because he said it's super easy to get in there. You do not need a passport, nothing. It's just open. They let you in. But he said it's hell getting out. He said it is hell getting out. He said it's like a line. He was in like 3 hours in this line, because as you're getting out, you're having to have these conversations with the people, I guess, in regards to, I suppose, probably you being a citizen of the U.S. So he was like, it's very easy to get in, but it's hard to get out. So he was like, yo, I just don't even go over there anymore. I remember my husband telling me when he and his sister were young kids, like they would go over to Mexico, but he talked about like coming, his parents would say like when they would leave Mexico to enter into California, 'cause we're from California, they would get caught at the border. But prior to, that whole experience, they would have conversations with their kids to prep them on the potential questions that they may be asked, because my husband and his sister are like very fair skinned. The parent, my in-laws, brown skin, kind of like me. So, and they have these fair skinned kids. So they were like, because of the complexions are different, it could look like they got them smuggling kids from Mexico to California. So remember, it was no issue getting into Mexico. It was the prep, the conversations that they had to have with the kids in regards to when it's time to leave Mexico. Because I guess when they would get to the line to get back into California, the officials, the agents, the ICE, whoever, whatever you want to call them, they would want to have a talk to the kids directly. Hey, what's your name? Are these your parents? They ain't trying to talk to the parents, like they trying to see what the kids got to say. To really know, like, okay, are these kids in distress? Like, what's really going on? So the people over in Mexico, they're like, listen, we want the American people to leave and to go home. We don't want them here. They're making things harder for us. And here's the thing. I understand what it means for people who are not legal, who are not citizens of your country or wherever you're from, to come in, and it shuffles things. It makes things harder for those who are local. I get it. Y'all seen them? They was over there busting windows. The people, the foreigners, the what do you call that? The tourists are in the restaurants having a meal. Then outside, they got the locals just trying to break the glass to get in. Crazy. Y'all, it was looking like damn Los Angeles. To me, actually, it was looking worse than Los Angeles. It was as far as with what they were doing to the businesses. They vandalized like 15 businesses, according to the local government official. I think the mayor over there in Mexico, she said, I think they had vandalized 15 businesses. But the people are like, listen, we're tired of having the American people, the tourists here. We want them to go because it's just listen, peep this. They're like, listen, if you are not over here speaking, this is what the Mexican people are saying in Mexico. I seen the signs. They had these signs. If you are not over here speaking Spanish, using pesos, and what else they said? Basically, they want you to acclimate to their culture, their environment. So they don't want you coming over there using the US dollar. You need to come over there using pesos. They don't want you coming over there speaking English. They want you coming over there speaking Spanish. So haven't we heard something like that here? We're like, yo, if you're coming over to the US, learn the English language. How many times have we seen since this whole situation begun earlier this year with the ICE roundup, in news reports where you'll have someone who's an immigrant speaking to the news reporter and they're still speaking Spanish and there's needing to be a translator and they've been here like 15, 20 years. Y'all, this not even exaggeration. And I'll get in the comments and people are like, damn, to think that they've been here 20 years and they still haven't even learned the language. What I'm saying is, why can't other countries and whatever have their rules, regulations, policies, whatever, but here we can't have the same thing? we wrong for wanting them to acclimate or assimilate to the American culture. We're wrong. We're wrong. We're supposed to have to take Spanish in school to learn their language, versus, them being required to learn ours. But in Mexico, they can have signs saying, hey, if you're not speaking Spanish, you can go on somewhere. You need to be over here speaking Spanish, and you need to be damn using pesos. Y'all, this is what the sign said. They had the signs. They had these signs, and I was reading the signs. They want you to assimilate with what's going over there. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. If you're coming to the U.S., assimilate to the U.S. culture. If you're going to Mexico, assimilate to the Mexican culture. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. It makes completely sense to me. So here's the thing. I'm not mad at the people in Mexico, how they acted over there. The part that I'm mad at is the audacity that they're able to feel the way they feel over there, but we can't feel the way we feel over here. Like, why is everybody else entitled to feel how they feel and express it, but we can't? We're expected to just roll out the red carpet for everybody. It's the entitlement for me. That's what made them so comfortable with burning our flags. Did y'all see them when they were protesting heavy a few weeks back, maybe earlier in the month of June, when they were protesting and they would have the flags? They would be walking around with every flag except for the U.S. flag. And if you did see them with the American flag, they were disrespecting it. They were stomping on it, setting it on fire, all of that. But they had the utmost respect for the Mexican flag, the El Salvadorian flag. Y'all, I was becoming familiar with flags because as I was doing a live stream, I was going on Google, typing in the colors of the flag to try to figure out what country it represented. Y'all, it felt like I was watching the Olympics. All these damn flags. All these flags. I came to learn the meaning of the different flags. They weren't the U.S. flags. They weren't the U.S. flags. So then when that hit the media where people took notice that they weren't even carrying the U.S. flags, then you would start to see in, protests that took place thereafter, you started to then see them with the U.S. flag. Like somebody like, y'all doing too much. Hey, can y'all at least have the damn American flag? If y'all finna be doing the absolute most, can you at least have a flag to act like you like the country? Like, come on now. Help me, help you. Help me, help you. So then we started to see like some of the, the American flag here. And it's like, oh, okay. They got the memo. Somebody reached out to them, said, hey, can we kind of because really, how are you in our country, in the U.S., talking about, I want to stay, you can't make me leave, but though you got the Mexican flag draped around you, the El Salvadorian flag draped around you, the Venezuelan flag draped around you, but you're talking about, but I want to stay in the U.S., but you're showing nothing but disrespect for this country that you're fighting hard to stay in. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're showing that you hate the U.S. How you're moving is showing that you're anti-U.S. It's giving that you come here to want to take over, not assimilate, but take over. You want to take over. So was that the whole ploy all along, was to come and infiltrate and just take over? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to understand, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're here in the U.S. You're burning our flag, but then chanting, these are streets. These are what? Like, okay, let me just make it as simple as possible. Look at any of those protests, riots, whatever you want to call it, in Los Angeles. We'll just use Los Angeles, for example, because it was taking place in other places as well, but it was heavy in Los Angeles. Turn on your TV, your phones, your laptop, whatever. Watch the protests / riots, because y'all know they was rioting and calling it protests. Turn the volume all the way down. Turn the volume down, and then just watch it. When you watch it, if someone were to ask you, is this giving someone who loves this place, this country that they're in, or is it giving someone who hates it? What would you say? Remember, we're taking out sound. We're removing the sound and we're going off of the visuals. We're going off of the visuals. If you go off of the visuals, it's giving that these people hate America. It's giving terrorist behavior. There's no sound. That is the telltale of what something is giving. Turn off the sound and watch it. Your eyes don't lie. Your eyes don't lie. Our eyes seen hate, vitriol for the U.S. It is what it is. It is what it is. Where we were seeing burning of the flag, burning of businesses, cars, communities. That's terroristic behavior. That is terroristic behavior, which is why President Trump sent in the National Guards, the Marine. It's terrorist behaviors. We're watching. When they say action speaks louder than words, remember that's why I said turn off the sound. Turn off the sound. Action speaks louder than words. The actions were so loud. The actions were anti-American, anti-US, anti-government. That was very evident. It was so evident. Like, how do you argue it? That's why I said after when it started hitting the media where people were like, yo, like, damn, they ain't even got the American flag. Then you will start to see, we started to see the American flag more. Some of these people, you all, I seen a guy on the internet who was saying that he had responded to like a Craigslist ad of being a paid protester to go out there. He said he was paid, it was $1,000 per day. But then he said after a while, he did it a little bit. I don't know. He didn't say how long he did it, but he didn't do it very long. He said he then started to question why he was even out there doing it. He was like, hell, this don't apply to me. I guess I'm not a legal immigrant. I just signed up to do it for the money. But really, when I'm looking at all of this, it's quite disturbing because as I'm walking around in Los Angeles, I'm already seeing little care package kits already designated for the rioters, where it already had the center blocks and the things to use to tear up ish. So he said, he was like, damn, whoever's funding this, they really hate America. This is what he said. He was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? I can't even do it no more. I know it was $1,000 I was able to make per day by being out here, but he was like, I can't do it no more. He was like, because whoever is funding this, he said, whoever is funding this hate the U.S. This man couldn't even continue on for $1,000 a day because he was like, this right here, something ain't right. Because he stopped to think like, damn, like I'm a U.S. citizen. Somebody really hating on America. And I'm not trying to be a part of it even for $1,000 a day. So that's why I say next time you watch the riots / protests, turn the sound down and just look. The visuals. The visuals. It's giving anti-US, anti-Americans, anti-laws. It's giving all of that. It's giving all of that. And that's an entire problem. Tim, yes, I think so. I think that's what it's giving when it's just giving that these are people who low-key don't like us, never did, but only here because it's better than where they came from. So it's almost like, yeah, I'm here. I don't like you, but I mean, it's better than where I came from. But I mean, I really don't like you or rock with you like that. But your government is willing to give me resources, so I'm going to take them. So who going to check me, boo? It's giving the who going to check me, boo energy. Y'all, these people don't like us. These people do not like us. How many of you all have seen TikToks and things like that prior to all of this with them expressing how they really feel about us? They don't like us. They really don't. They don't like us. And I believe it's rooted in being jealous of the fact that we are here rightfully and they are not. And we can stand 10 toes down on anything that we say and how we move because this is where we are from. Many of us were born here. We got our papers. We don't have to run and hide. And a lot of people can't move like that. So they're envious of people who are able to move like that. So they want to hate on you, act like you doing something wrong, you this or that, when actuality, they just want to be you and be in your position. That's why a lot of them was throwing out with black people. They gonna come for you, whatever. You're projecting. Listen, worry about yourself. Don't worry about us. As I showed y'all, we Gucci over here. We can handle ourselves. So Illegal immigrants, y'all don't worry about us. We got this. Don't listen. We got this. Don't worry about us. This how we come together. Y'all out there who talk about, oh, well, black folks, y'all don't come together. Y'all, it looked like we was coming together on this day. We came together, together on this day. How y'all coming together? How are y'all coming together? I ain't see y'all ain't coming together like that. Y'all ain't coming together like that. So miss me with that. Don't worry about how we gonna handle things when they come for us and ours. We got this. We got this. And I'll say it again for those who are coming in. This was, from what I've been told, these were bounty hunters. This wasn't ICE agents. The ICE agents say, hell no, I ain't going to Chicago neighborhood. Hell, they already shooting at us. What you think this is? What do you think this is? That ain't my territory. I'll go to New York or Los Angeles, but I am not going to Chirac. And that's when them damn bounty hunters went up in there. And y'all see them bounty hunters on the damn ground. I'm wondering, did them bounty hunters round up anybody? Did anybody get put in the paddy wagon? Because I'm seeing these bounty hunters getting it handed to them by men and women. So illegal immigrants, I tell you again, and I say aloud from the rooftop, don't worry about black folks. As you see, we got this. We got this. We got this. We don't need you to worry about us. You handle your business, and we over here handling ours. Just say Wednesday, foundational Black Americans, we got this. We Gucci over here. So that's what I say. A lot of what we hear them say about us, they're hating on us. They're envious of how we can come together, how we can fight, how we're not afraid. We're fearless people. There's no group of people on the planet in the history of any that has fought the way the black people have fought. That is why they want to include us in their fights. Because one thing black people know how to do, we know how to fight, and we know how to come together when we freaking need to. We do it better than any other group of people. I've seen white people online compare how white women don't come together like how black women do when they see other fellow white women being disrespected. That is not how the black people move. And this ain't got nothing to do with race. This is facts. This is facts. This is facts. I'm showing you, for those of you who don't understand what blackness means and how we move, you're getting a history lesson today. Courtesy of TikTok, and Chic Speaks on it. You're getting a damn history lesson today. This is what it looks like when we come together. We got that don't start none, won't be none energy. Don't start none, won't be none. That's why when it has come with this ICE round us, we have been minding our business. We have been minding our business and sitting on the sidelines because we know that any moment we can have our own fight. We know at any moment we can have our own fight. And we always know when it comes to our fight, the way that the powers that be, the law enforcement, anybody show up to our fight, y'all know it's a different type of energy. It's a different type of energy. Y'all, we seen with the riots, day one. We don't get no day 2, 3, 4. When it comes to black folks, it's a one and done. They bringing out all the stops when it comes to us. We don't get the passes. We don't get the, okay, where them trying to talk us off the ledge. No. They shooting first, asking questions later. Y'all know about that energy. Y'all not gonna play me and act like I'm there making ish up and I'm just talking junk. We not gonna do that. we not gonna do that. We're not gonna act like that. That is not a different type of energy when it comes to black people. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. It's a different type of energy. It's a different type of energy. We know that. That's why we have sat on the sidelines and you have not seen us as a collective at these protests centered around ICE rounds up. Even with this, as you're seeing this black group of people This is because people have came into the Black community. This isn't a group of people who went to Los Angeles, went to New York, and started participating in a damn protest. This is not what you're seeing. You're seeing people, what they say, Kenya Moore say, don't come for me unless I send for you. This is people coming for these people. These Black people did not go into these other environments, these other protests, and start just saying, hey, what's good? That is not what you're seeing. That's not what you're seeing. So again, I repeat, don't worry about the Black people. We got this. We got this. As you were able to see, we got this. We good. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. We're good. We're good. It's a lot going down. Everybody got to take care of them and their, so take care of yourself. Look out for your family. We keep everybody, lifted in prayer, but everybody has their own fight to fight right now. The Mexicans got their fight to fight right now. Black folks got their fight to fight right now. So everybody fight they fight. Everybody fight your fight. Fight your fight. That's the word of the day, the message of the day, honor students. If you are a subscriber of my channel, I affectionately refer to you as an honor student. Please subscribe to the channel. Over here, it's about elevating, asking questions. What I say over and over again, smart people ask questions. We seek out answers. We do our research. We're not sheeple. We're not easy led. We don't do none of that. We move around. Your girl, I be tapped in. I'm trying to listen to what the red got to say, what the blue got to say, what the folks on the underground got to say. I'm trying to hear it all because I'm trying to piece this ish together to understand what the freak is going on. And y'all know where the telltale TB at. Y'all don't be watching these videos and not get into them comments. I repeat, don't be watching these videos and not get into the comments. Get into the comments. That's where you learn the vast majority of the insightful information. Because when you get into the comments, people start to share information and speak on personal situation and drop gems and direct you to places where you can go to further expand your knowledge on said topic. Get into the comments. Get into the comments. That's when that's really where you're learning. Just like how you all are on this live and you're engaging. When you go to a video after it's posted, get into the comments. See what the people are saying. Because a lot of times it leads you down down the rabbit hole. You know the saying, it led me down the rabbit hole. It'll take you into the weeds for you to really understand what's really popping off out here. That's how you really know. That's how I came to know, this was in Chicago. Oh, these were bounty hunters. Like, get in the comments, because a lot of times you got locals and people who know people who maybe was in the content, and they're able to speak on it and give you some background history to what you may have watched in the content. So just remember that. Just remember that. Smart people ask questions. Never have anyone to make you feel bad for asking questions, because you don't know unless you ask, right? How many of you have grew up hearing that, or you tell your children, you tell your babies, ask questions, don't sit. Just don't be sitting and just not knowing and not understanding. You raise your hand, you ask questions, you let it be known that, hey, I'm not understanding. And can you repeat that? This is how you get to the information. I'm teaching y'all how to get to the information. Anything you hear me say over here, go and do your own research to get down to it. Go fact check. Go fact check. The information is out there. And a lot of the people, the powers that be, they play on the fact that they know people aren't going to go out there and do their own research, their own homework. They know that people are not going to take the time out to do that. They're just going to go off of what they're being told. How many of you just go off of what you're told? Because you're like, shit, I ain't got time to be going to look at it. Okay, CNN, you said what? All right, then. No, don't ever do that. Do not ever do that. Don't do that. And people know that. What they say, you ever hear the saying, oh, if you don't want people to know something, put it in a book. Ain't nobody finna read that book. Oh, we got this big, beautiful bill. It's over 1,000 pages. They ain't finna sit down and read that big, beautiful bill. We just finna plop it in this 1,000+ page bill, and then they'll learn about it later. You all, there was actually state elected officials saying that, yeah, I signed off on the bill. No, I didn't read it. Georgia State Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said that. I heard her say, she was like, listen, they put it on my desk the night before it was time to vote. She admitted to signing off on something that she did not fully read and have the understanding of. Now we have this big, beautiful bill that we have to work with. It's here. It's here. And a lot of people that said yes to it didn't fully understand what they were saying yes to. They did it because they were told to do it, or they did it because someone from their party did it. So they're like, well, I mean, I'm red. So yes, I got to follow it. However red, move. I got to do that too. Like, this is how people are moving in these streets. They're just going off of what the next person's doing or what the next person said. And then oftentimes we're seeing people are led to the pits of hell by doing that. People are led to the pits of hell. But that's on that. 138 people in the building, 138 likes. I like that number. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. But y'all, it's a lot going down. What's very sad to me also, if any of you have been following with the floods in Texas, did you all know that there was like a black camp? I think it was called Camp Bandina, where I call it a black camp because it was primarily black kids who attended that camp, because the Camp Majestic was the rich white one for all girls. They said it was about 750 girls who were attending camp at the time of the floods. I think range ages from 7, to 17. But there was another camp in the area because it didn't get news. I learned about it because remember, I done told y'all to get up in these comments. I told y'all, so when y'all watch the next videos, get into the comments. So I was in the comments on like a video centered around the floods, and so this is also in the comments. Did you all know that retired football player Deion Sanders' little cousin, his name was Noah. He was 9 years old. He lost his life from the floods. I learned that from the comments. Go look it up. Google it. Deion Sanders' cousin loses life. I learned that in the comments on a video. So on the particular video in the comments, I also learned about a black camp that was called, I think, Camp Bandina, Bandina. So I went Googling that. Sure enough, it's a real camp. And I eventually came across a news clip profiling the camp, and the camp leaders just talking about how when they seen the weather was getting bad, they just made executive decision. They was like, God was with them. They spoke nothing about God and blessings. They were like, we were blessed to where the weather held up enough to allow for us to get out. Y'all, nobody lost their lives. Nobody lost their life at Camp Bandina. I believe that's the name of the camp. There was no lives lost. No lives lost. Just say Camp Majestics, no black girls were allowed to be there. But Camp Bandina, where black girls were allowed to be, black boys and girls were allowed to be, everyone survived. So I just want to put that out there just in case some of you may not have known about these people, the black people who also survived this storm, who also were at a camp, because they didn't get the coverage like that. And going back to the camp, the Majestic, with the storms, there was another lady, and it was a black woman. She was like, yeah, me and my family, we were at, they were somewhere in river rafting, whatever. And she was just like, yeah, she was like, it was her husband and maybe like their 2 or 3 kids. So they're like, yeah, we at the water and we're seeing the water raise. So we like, oh, hell no, we got to get up out of here. They said they had rented the cabins like they still had their cabin for an extra day. So, but when they seen the water rising, they was like, oh, hell no, the hell you say? First of all, y'all know black folks, we don't do water like that. And we're so for those of you who aren't familiar again with how the black people move, come on, you're going to learn today. Come on in here. Black people, we're very kind of, we're moved by our spirits and emotions. We like to read the room. We pay attention to all the signs. So the black family said, listen, we was on this river and we seen the damn water rising. So we like, oh, hell no, we got to get the hell up out of here. So they go to the front office to try to check out whatever. They talking about as they getting their stuff together to raise up out of there, they see the other people jumping in the water like, oh shit, we about to go river rafting. They done got excited about seeing the water rise because y'all know the other people like to live on the edge. We don't need that type of excitement. As you see, our black communities we got enough excitement already going on in the neighborhood. We don't need water added to the damn mix. The black family said they trying to get the hell on. The other people they getting excited and they jumping they happy asses in the water as they trying to get out the water. They going to, y'all listen, we got all this. Now we gonna fight and throw bows, but what we not gonna do is play around with no damn water. We ain't doing that. You can keep Lake Lanier and all that shit. We don't play around. The fact that the black woman was river rafting just enough is just, she's one of the special ones. Because we don't even damn do that. She said they trying to leave the other folks got excited and jumping in the water. So while the black family jumping the hell out the water, the damn other ones jumping in the water. So then they go to the office to say, yes, we supposed to stay for tomorrow night, but yeah, we getting up out of here today because we see this weather, the water's going up. She said, the damn lady at the front office said, oh yeah, we thinking about maybe later doing sounding off the alarm for the weather warning. She said, the hell you mean later? Anyway, black sister said, all right then, well, good luck to y'all. We getting the hell on. They went on to the crib. Meanwhile, while they at home on the crib, they watching on the news, on the Beyonce Diddy internet about how these damn clear people out here damn fighting for their life. Remember, I done told you, she said while they was jumping the hell out the damn water, they was jumping in the water because they was getting excited. They like, oh shit, the water rising. Let me get my damn tube and go down. We don't move that way. Non-black people, we don't move that way. We move by spirit. We're very intuition. We read the room. Her spirit told her, it's time to get the hell on. The water shouldn't be damn going at y'all. The water raised 26 feet in 45 minutes. The signs were already there. The black woman said she seen the damn signs. She seen the signs. And the people, she said by the time they got in the car and went up the way, that's when they were just now trying to sound out the sirens to signal to the people it's time to get the hell on. Shit, it's damn late by then. It is damn late. These black folks done already got their shit. They done already went up. I told y'all the black people at the house with us watching it on the news, just shaking their heads saying, my. We got to be smarter. This that issue I'm talking about. So non-black people, let me tell you this. If you ever in a situation and you see black folks doing some shit and moving and going to the left, it will behoove you to move your goddamn ass to the left too. Don't be sitting around trying to figure out what the hell going on and trying to get your thoughts together. You do that shit later. Because the thing about us black people, we quick with it. You see us take the hell off running, guess what? Your ass need to be taking the hell off running too. If you like living. If you like living, you gonna take the hell off running too. When you get to a good safe point to stop and ask some goddamn questions, you can ask all the questions you want. You can ask all the questions you want. Don't be trying to ask no question in the midst of the damn black person getting the hell on. You see Keisha getting into her whip and driving and peeling the hell off. Karen, your goddamn monkey ass, you'd be doing the same. You get into your shit, you grab Tom and say, we got to get on. Tom say, Keisha, Karen, why we leaving? Because goddamn Keisha and Marcus just left. If you like living, she speaks on it, said, when we see them move, we move. When we see them move, we move. When we see them move, listen, I'm on my Umar Johnson. I'm gonna say this shit 3 times. When you see them move, your ass need to damn move too. Move. Dark Letter said, preach it. Thank you so much. I'm just saying, it can save your life. We're very naturally, we're emotional people. We're very intuitive. And when you know, you know. And that's our superpower. It's our superpower. It saves our life. I done told y'all the Camp Bandito, all of them, they all made it back home to their families, hugging their mamas and their daddies and their siblings. That ain't happening at the Camp Majestic. They still out there looking for people. This is what happens when we don't pay attention or when we're not tapped in or in tune. When we're not tapped in or in tune to our inner spirit, you got to... Some of you may be like, well, Sheik, you know, how do you get there? How do you get that ability to be able to do it? How? Because for some people, I would say probably as a collective for Black people, it comes very easy for us. And I understand for some people it don't. We'll call it discernment. We'll call it discernment. So if you do not have discernment, you're like, Sheik, I don't have that. I need that. This is what I'm going to tell you to do. You need to pray it. You need to ask for it. Ask God to give you discernment. Ask and you shall receive. That ish really works. Like it really works. Ask and you shall receive. Pray for it. Ask for discernment. Ask for it. Ask for him to send you. Ask for that higher power to send people in your life that can help you out, that can guide you. That's why I'm telling you. You may wind up in a situation where it's going to pop off or it's popping off. You don't know what's going on. But I'm telling you, if you see the Black people, the people that look like me moving and doing something, follow suit. Because what I'm seeing is that when ish pop off and go left, we tend to fare out as far as our lives better than the other groups of people. Because remember, I said we're survivors. We're survivors. Follow them. Remember, you talking about Sheik, I ain't got no intuition. That's fine. Goddamn it, you see people like me, likely they got discernment, intuition. They got everything that God gave us. Listen, we are the first people. Black people are the original people. Y'all come from us anyway. Everybody come from the Black person. Follow the Black person. Follow Keisha. Follow Marcus. Whatever the hell they doing, don't be slowing them down, asking them why. You follow them. When y'all get to a safe place, then you ask them, okay, now why the hell we took off running? And they'll be able to let you know. But don't be slowing them down, because that's how you get left behind. They're going to leave you behind if you get to asking questions. They're going to leave you behind. And I'm saying this and I'm laughing all this, y'all, but this is real. This is factual stuff. This is real. This is real. It's real. It's not exaggerated. It is real. We are survivors. The babies at the Black camp survived. Why is that? That was not a coincidence. We are naturally spiritual people. I don't know how them folks at Camp Mystic was moving, but if it's any truth that Blacks was not allowed, then there you go. You got all you need to go, because that is not godly like. That's devilish. That is not godly like. That's devilish. God gonna take care of his. RIP to all of those who lost their lives. RIP to all of those who lost their lives. But we have to be conscious on how we move out here in these streets, because the Lord sees all and he knows all. How about that? He sees all and he knows all, and he takes care of his. He takes care of his. You got to take care of yourselves and one another. You got to be in tune with your humanity. You can't be on some racist stuff on, oh, okay, because, you know, I think these people don't look like me, then they can't be over here and included. Okay, well, maybe had y'all allowed for people that look like me to be included, maybe it would have been a different outcome. Because people that look like me, I just explained how we move. I told y'all how we move. So imagine it at Camp Mystic if it was people that look like me, leaders that look like me. Y'all think that it would have kind of Somebody looked like me would have been like, oh, this water coming. It sure is coming down. It's time to go. It's time to go. We got to go. I done seen the down water go. Y'all, I done told y'all what the black lady seen. She said, y'all, I seen the water rising. I said, oh, we got to go. They didn't give a damn about missing that one extra night that they paid for. Because what? They have their life. They have their life. They don't care about that one night. They didn't care about that. They had their life. And if those other people were smart, they would have been paying attention. I told y'all the lady at the front desk told her, oh, wow, okay, y'all leaving? Yeah, we'll probably send out, do the siren thing a little later. Karen, Becky, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? You see this weather just like we see. I done told you we watched the water. Why are y'all still jumping out? Why are y'all still jumping in the water? I need to understand. Why are you still jumping in the water while we getting out the water? Because the water is raising. Help me understand. Help me understand. Help me understand. But the black family didn't stick around as they tried to understand. They like, oh, okay, well, y'all want to sit on stupidity. All right, then, best of luck. Best of luck. We going to the crib. We going to the house. And that's what happened with her and her family and the family at Camp Bandino. They rode up, they loaded up in that same bus that they rode up there with. They all loaded back in that bus and took it back on to the house. This is just basic common sense and discernment. It's nothing more. Y'all, this ish don't be that deep. It's really not that deep. It's real basic. Common sense and discernment. Everybody ain't got it. Everybody ain't got it. But if you don't got it, you can pray about it. You can get it. And the people in the comments who mad about it, you only get mad because it's the truth. And there's a lot of people who are jealous of people who have that in that gift, that God-given gift that they don't have. It's a gift. We all have one. What's your gift? I done told you what my gift is. My gift is discernment, intuition, knowing how to read the room, reading people. What's your gift? Lean into your gift. Lean into your gift. You don't have to be over here to hear me speak on my gift and the gift that the people that look like me have as a collective. What is your gift? Find a content creator who can share more about what your gift is. But people only get mad at the truth. People get upset about the truth. The truth hurts. I get it. But you got to deal with it, because the longer you choose to not deal with it, the more you're held back. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with the truth. The truth is that people move selfishly. People choose to not pay attention to the signs and the writing on the wall. They choose to blindly move out here in these streets. And many of times it has cost them their lives, their loved ones' lives. Who wins in those situations? No one wins when we choose to be blind and ignore the truth because our feelings are hurt by it. Like I said, if you don't have discernment, pray about it. You can get it. You can get it. But you have to ask for it. You have to pray about it. You have to be in tune with humanity. You can get it. Ask and you shall receive. You can get it. Welcome, everyone. Double tap the stream. I'm just speaking facts tonight. There were Black people who lives were on the line during the storms, and many of them survived. Most of them survived. It's out there. The news isn't covering, and I get it. They're focusing on the stories with those who lost their lives, and prayers to those families who lost their babies and their loved ones. That's not something I wish on anyone. I'm just trying to help bring an understanding on how people move, different groups of people move, and how based off of how we move, it can make a difference on our outcomes. That's what I'm saying. We just have to pay attention more. We have to pay attention more. Let me see. Read some of the comments. It's a sad situation. The last I left off at was the death toll was up to about 119. I think that was maybe as of yesterday. I don't know what it is today. It's very unfortunate. Last night I learned about Deion Sanders, the former football player, former NFL football player's cousin, losing his life. Not sure what camp he was attending, but he was a 9-year-old little boy, and he lost his life due to the storms. He lost his life, so it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but you know, a lot of people got caught up in the storms, and some people were able to get out in time, and many weren't. Many were not. Many were not. So prayers to the families for those who were not, who's still looking for loved ones, because it's not something I would ever wish on anyone. I would ever wish on anyone. But I did learn that Camp Bandina, they were able, it's another camp that was in the area, they were able to get out. So it's a blessing, you know, that they were able to get out, because they could have, you know, been in the news headlines for different reasons. It could have been in the headlines for different reasons. It was a freak incident, 100-year flood. Nobody knew that it was coming that bad. I've heard just so many like stories centered around it. Like some people think that it was the weather, the system, things was altered to have that much water come in. It's just so much that I've heard centered around these storms. It reminds me of Hurricane Katrina, really. You all remember with Hurricane Katrina and all the different stories and conspiracies and things that we were hearing centered around the levees and things like that. This is, to me, what this is giving. Like, it's a lot of people who just don't believe that it was just natural, okay, just rain coming down. So I don't know. I just know that people just have all kinds of thoughts and views centered around it. And a big question that people want to know is why the sirens and the alerts weren't sound off much earlier than what they were. Why weren't they sounded earlier than what they were? And I told you the example of the black woman who was, you know, at the, you know, vacation, doing whatever near the water with her family. And she didn't wait for any sirens. She just saw the water rising. And so many people in the comments on the video, just all races of people, just saying, wow, grateful prayers that you had discernment, that you went with your inner intuition that, listen, it's time to go. And then you didn't wait for someone to tell you it's time to go. You didn't wait for a siren. This woman didn't wait for a siren. Her and her family, they saw just what it was giving, just from the visuals. They're like, it's time to go. It's time to go. The leaders at the church Bandina, they said, listen, the weather got bad. They were like, it's time to go. They didn't say nothing about no sirens, hearing no alerts or nothing. They just looked and seen the weather was getting bad. And they said that the Lord held off the worst of the worst weather enough for them to get out. So sometimes we can't wait on someone saying, hey, girl, run. Hey, bro, run. Sometimes we have to make that decision on our own and say, you know what? This ain't looking right. I know somebody ain't came and said there's a problem, but I know what a normal rainy day look like. I know what these waters normally look like. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and move around and leave because this don't feel right. This is that discernment that I'm talking about. Common sense and discernment. What I just said, that ain't got nothing to do with what somebody ain't came and tapped you on your shoulder and told you. That's going off of you looking around, taking in what you're seeing. You know, like, this don't look right. This don't feel right. Let me go do this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And this has saved many of people's lives. Katina says, so Trump did this? I don't know. I've heard people out there blaming him some type of way. I last heard people blaming Kristi Noem. She's over things centered around the whatever that, I guess, any of the FEMA, all of that stuff. And she, they said it was like 3 days after, I guess, the start of the storm or whatever, that the resources and things came in. So they're kind of on her neck about the delayed in getting the resources that they need. Also, I've seen her on record talking about alert systems and things like that needing to be put in place and things like that. But then I also saw that there was like a $3 million budget proposed for something like that she declined or denied or didn't approve. So I don't know, if whether or not it'll get better with as far as the weather sound system and things like that, because I seen where there was something denied. She supposedly had denied the money for paying for something like that. So that's unfortunate if that is the case, because it's like, you want to learn from the situation, which means that you want to have the adequate alarm systems in place. You want to be prepared to sound them off in enough time for people to get out. But if you're not budgeting for any of that, then I don't know what we do. If you're not, because you have to pay for that, right? You pay for that. So if it is true that she's denied, the money to pay for something like that, then that's very disheartening, because that means that something like this could very well happen again. I was listening to a mayor of a small town, and he was saying, his town, they didn't hear the sound of the alarm system. He said he checked the weather the night before, that Thursday. It showed 2 to 4 inches. I think 2 to 6 inches of rain was probably to come in. And he was like, we never got, the alarm. We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it. I think he said, Kerr County. I think this was a mayor of Kerr County. Just Say Win says, I'm bothered that Trump just went to Texas this morning, a whole week later, to assist our fellow U.S. citizens. And this is what I talk about, where I see that we have the money, the resources, and all that for everybody else except for our people. Like, we're about to pay $450 million for alligator Alcatraz. That's going to be the annual expense for that. Mayor Karen Bass just signed an executive order. She's going to be cutting checks or giving debit cards to illegal immigrants to help them financially as they navigate through these trying times, as ICE tried to round them up. This is what I'm talking about. The money and the resources is there for everybody, everything except for the American people. And it's very sad. It's very sad, but it is the reality. No matter how you slice it and dice it, if you don't like me saying it or not, it's the reality, because just look around. Just look around. Devin said, that's why I say a rich man with money doesn't care about the people. Virtuous Woman said, but Texas didn't want to be a part of our grid. They have their own little system separate from other states. I don't get that. Dr. J said, working folks keep working and paying taxes. Yep. And they will remind you that these bills are here. I know I was someone that shared with me, and we were talking about the big, beautiful bill. And just when it comes to financial aid and student loans and things, and the days of having, zero payment plan, things are really changed. They've lowered the amount of money that you can borrow per year. And it's going to be based around also your degree program. So certain degree programs, will allot for you to get more money, finance more money versus like say like a medical degree or a law degree. You'll be entitled to get access to more money than say, another degree like a business degree. So there's some changes with the Pell Grant. Pell Grant will still be around, but there's a change with like the the maximum amount you can get for how long and all of that. So again, when it comes to the American people, the government is very tight with the wallet on spending the money. But when it comes to illegal immigrants, other things that, war, anything that the government feels that there can be some type of, I personally feel like financial gain, they'll find the resources for it. That's just my opinion from what I've seen, Let me see. Sonny Mac said, CNN reports the sad passing of Reverend Al Sharpton at the age of 70 in New York City. Possible heart attack, RIP. Wow, thank you for sharing that. So that just happened. So he was 70 years old. Virtuous says, wait, what? He called him Al Wharton, or did you Al Sharpton? US, yes. Wow, Al's been around for a long time. That's a big one. That's a big one. So I'm sure that one's gonna be running across the news all weekend, because I would say in current times, Al is like the MLK of current times as far as when it comes to leaders. I mean, I don't really rock with Al like that. I never did. He just but I know a lot of people, especially Black people, they rock hard with Al. So Kraft Leo said that's not true. What you're saying, his Al's passing isn't true. Let me see. Let's see what we find. Do I see any passing of Al Sharpton in the news? Let's see. Okay, it's saying no indication of Al passing. Well, hell, where'd that one come from? Y'all know people will put somebody in a grave in a minute. I'm glad somebody put in there like, that ain't true. Because I didn't think to try to type it in really fast. I would have looked into it after the live. But Blue said you got trolled. Yeah, thank y'all for catching that one, because I didn't think about looking it up in the media. I would have researched it after they done put that man in the grave. I know he little and all. He don't be looking the most healthiest a lot of times. But Al said, listen, I'm still kicking. I'm still on the stroll, still boots on the ground. So Al is still Bright Light said, got our hopes up. Listen. Listen, Al is Al. I don't roll with Al, but listen, I know a lot of people out here rock with Al. So Al still kicking, y'all. Al is still kicking. AI said, he's still around. He's still kicking. He is still kicking. But I thank y'all for joining me on this Friday as we just got into these shenanigans with California and the Mayor Karen Bass, and child, her out there trying to be the warrior for the illegal immigrants. She fighting, she putting up a fight out there. Every time when they got them cameras out there trying to round people up, you see Karen out there with them. She is definitely out there with them. What somebody cannot say is that woman is not boots on ground, because she is boots on ground. She is boots on ground. Dr. J said it was on the internet a few weeks ago that Bobby Brown had passed. It was a total lie. Bobby's still sliding around. Not Bobby. Lord Jesus. I missed that one. I didn't see that one going around. I didn't see that one going around with Bobby. He got Whitney on the other side waiting on him, but no, we don't want to put people in a grave, sooner than the Lord calls for them to come. So thank you all yet for clarifying that one centered around Al Sharpton, because that's just not what we want to do. Virtuous is Dr. J. I was about to block you with that one. Y'all, it's a lot going on. Stay vigilant, but I'm gonna still continue to follow these, navigate through these political streets. It's a lot moving around. Y'all see that Pam Bondi is getting a business. Who else getting a business? What's his name? Dan Bongino. Listen, he talking about quitting. I don't know if he done already gave his papers. Like, y'all, it's going down behind these Epstein files that don't exist. Folks fighting for their lives, y'all. People are fighting for their lives behind these Epstein files, these lists that don't exist, y'all. They said, listen, it don't exist. Folks said, fire Dan Bongino, fire Pam Bondi, fire them all, fire. But I'm like, well, I mean, when it comes to Pam Bondi, I'm like, she moving based off of the direction of her boss, which is President Donald Trump. So I don't know why they calling for her to be fired. I mean, I just didn't feel like she was out here going rogue, doing her own thing. I felt like she was moving based off of, the directive that she got from her boss, which is President Donald J. Trump. So I'm like, so that's kind of how I felt about that. I think it's some BS that, they're saying that, the list, the names, all of that, paperwork don't exist. I think it's some BS, but I'm not here for, firing Pam Bondi, because I don't feel like she's doing anything that didn't align with what she was told to do. Meaning that if she was told to say this information was out here and I'm going to reveal it on Thursday, I feel like, she said that because that was the directives that she was given. And then when she didn't follow through with that, I feel like she didn't follow through with it because it was the directive that she was given. So why are we yelling from the top of the roof, fire Pam Bondi? This woman ain't just out here going rogue and just doing what she want to do. She's going off of the directions that she's been given, just like anyone else in the Trump administration. So now, Dan Bongino, I haven't really gotten deep into like what's the deal with him, but I heard there's been some fighting between him and Pam, centered around these Epstein files, and he's just like, F it. I think he's just like ready to chalk the deuces and just going about his business, which probably is the best move. It seemed like he was a big content creator, so he got his own lane. And then once he get over there, he can do like Elon and just talk his talk. Because y'all know, as soon as Elon left that White House, but by Monday, he was on X with the Twitter fingers. It did not take long. So Dan Bongino, let's see if he will have that Elon energy once he leave and really say, how he felt about the situation, or tell us how he really feels about the situation. Because did y'all see recently there was this politician that said Trump had texted him about, because I guess he voted against the big beautiful bill or something, and the man told Trump that I ain't with you, I ain't with this bull ish. Y'all, it's crazy. Y'all look it up. It's this politician. I think he was the one he voted against the big beautiful bill. There was like a couple of people who didn't vote for it at the when it went to the House right before the 4th of July. And I was listening to this guy get interviewed, and he said that Trump had basically put out there, hey, anybody who don't vote for it, he was going to purposely support whoever would be running against them, I guess, to replace their seat or whatever. And he said one night or whatever, he got a text message from Trump saying whatever, and he responded with like, listen, I ain't with your bull-ish or something. I ain't with this bull. Y'all, he said with his chest, but he said with his chest because he said he wasn't going to go up for his seat next term. So a lot of people are like, yo, okay, I'm here for you saying it with your chest, but why couldn't you say it before? Let me try to see before I get off of here which politician that was that said that. But people are like, you should have been saying it with your chest while you were still comfortably in your position. But a lot of people don't want to really speak up how they really feel. You said Thomas Massey, Arthur, thank you. Let me see. A lot of people have been afraid to speak up and say how they feel out of fear of retaliation. U.S. State Representative. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can find his quote. I was like, what? But y'all know how it be. It's no different. You working on a job and you be trying to cut some folks out on the way out. I remember working for a company and this one lady, she had quit. But right before she quit, she drew up this long, she was like a really good writer. I think she had a degree in journalism, whatever. Child, she typed up this whole little write-up and emailed it to the CEO. Like she did that on her way out. So y'all know people will do that, because you don't have nothing to lose, right? When you leaving. So you be on your Elon Musk. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it. And that's the energy that that's the energy of what this politician had. But someone said, let me see. Was it Thomas Massey? He's not looking, let me see. He's not looking familiar. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure it out what this man said, because he doesn't look familiar. He might look a little different. Let me see. Politician. Let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out. Who was it? Tom Tillis. That probably sounds more familiar. Tom, that's it. That name sounds familiar. Yes, this is him. Let's see. Oh my God. So this guy right here. Let me see if we can find his quote. Because he said Trump had, it was his interview right here with CNN. Political devastating. Senator Tom Tillis sits down with CNN Jake Tapper to discuss Trump's new bill. Let me see. How old is this? Let me see.
Absolutely.
When you had your conversations with President Trump on text and on the phone, you were telling him that you thought his advisors were not giving him the full truth about what the Senate bill would do.
Absolutely. I've told the president a number of times that I very seldom believe I've ever disagreed with him, but I have disagreed with bad advice that some of his advisors are giving him, whether it's on a nominee or whether it's on policy. I told the president that the House mark was great. The House mark dealt with work requirements, saved $800 billion. There's only a $200 billion delta between the Senate mark, which was largely requested by staff in the White House. It wasn't the brainchild of any one member that I can find here, but it does so much damage. It just wasn't thought through. And hopefully we can convince them that we have to fix it. And that we can either fix it with a bipartisan bill coming up or the ACA extensions or some way we need to fix it. Otherwise, I told the president, I really do believe it could be his Obamacare. I became the second Republican speaker since the Civil War in North Carolina because I was convinced in 2009 that Obamacare was going to be a political Waterloo. And it was. I went from being in my second term in the State House to being Speaker of the House, betting on that implementation being Obama's downfall in the 2010 elections.
Because of the promise that he made that was not true. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
And now it's like, if you like Medicaid and you're eligible, you can keep it. That's fundamentally untrue because the funding mechanisms are probably going to take people who are eligible for it off of it over time, or it's going to create an enormous unfunded mandate on the states in a time frame that they can't absorb. In North Carolina, the estimate is nearly $26 billion over 10 years. Now, people say, well, we've delayed it for a year. I said, the numbers are still the same. It's a 10-year hit. But and then pretending like it won't have political consequences. Obamacare wasn't implemented when I led the campaign to get us to a majority for the second time in 150 years. But we knew enough about it to where it became a political wedge that literally flipped the legislature. It was 68-52 in 2010. It was 68-52 Republican in 2011.
Right. Do you think the people in that trailer park, do you think that they understand what's in that bill and how it could impact them?
They don't, but they will. They'll be targeted, and they should be. I mean, if I were
Targeted politically, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, they will find a way in today's world. You can get, you can find those folks, and if you're a competent Democrat, you're going to figure out a way to communicate to them how that affects their lives, and it almost certainly will. If it's that trailer park or the one that I spent a little bit of time in Jacksonville, Florida, or challenge communities across the country, that was the point. The House bill, I had no problem with. And I actually had sympathy with some of our dead hawks, of which I am one, to say I think we should cut more. I think we should find $200 billion more in savings for $1 trillion, just not in this way, because it's not sustainable, and it's politically, I think it's politically just devastating.
When you told that to the president, what did he say?
I think he probably heard it, maybe resonated with it. I was told by more than one person that he preferred the House bill more, but there's no question the Democrats are going to say that he broke his promise and that Medicaid recipients are going to be at risk. But he's got people that are giving him bad advice that are around him every day, and I continue to say, look, you got people here. I have a vested interest in making sure that President Trump's the most successful Republican president in the history of this country. I was a Republican long before President Trump was, and I'll be a Republican for the rest of my life. I built a majority in North Carolina. I want to see that that successful streak and all the benefits that have occurred in North Carolina occur and continue. And so you have to be able to tell truth to power. That's our job. And that's exactly what I attempted to do last week, and that's what I'll continue to do. And I'll continue to work with the president if he chooses to. I'm a transaction guy. Completely believe they missed the mark on this one. His advisors got it wrong. Off to the next transaction. Let's fix this or work on something else. There are plenty of things where we agree.
The Wall Street Journal reported that when he made his final pitch to you, you said, I can't effing do that.
Well, it sounds like me, but I don't remember the conversation at that level of granularity. But I made it very clear to the president and I have never had a pitched discussion. Every time, and I've probably done it more than many, every time I'm very frank with him, but he has never been untoward, never raised his voice.
He just goes on social media and does it.
Yeah, well, that's the first time he ever did, and so after he did that, after I told the president that he's clearly got the votes, that I will try and work to get something done in the House. He didn't need my vote, and that I would be respectful and quiet and try to do my work on the House side. And then I got that text that I texted him, or I saw I'd never read it, but I saw like the first sentence. I told the president in another text, I said, now it's time to start looking for my replacement, because I don't deal with that kind of.
Mm-hmm. And what did he say to that?
He texted back, I am, and I think subsequent to that, he started taking interviews. He needs to, because it's going to be a tough race in North Carolina.
So, that politician, who were we looking at? U.S. Senator Tom Tillis told President Trump, I don't deal with that kind of bullish. So, again, he said it with his chest on his way out. But a lot of them say, listen, I don't really speak up because, listen, I just don't. I'm trying to protect myself, my family, my money. So in this situation, he's saying he's not going up for his seat again in the U.S. Senate. So he don't really care. He's like, listen, it is what it is. Now he's ready to share how he feels. And he's saying, hey, he has more to say. After, I think his position ends, he will be speaking out more. So, I mean, it is what it is. Again, Pam Bondi, people are coming for her and her job because of the Epstein files. I understand why people are mad at her, but I personally feel like she was moving based off of the directive she got from President Donald J. Trump. So if you're going to be mad at anyone, I feel like it should be directed towards him and not just Pam, not calling for her to lose her job, because, listen, she was just doing what I believe she was doing what she was told. I believe she was doing what she was told. So that's on that. But yeah, we covered a lot. I'm going to still stay tapped into the streets. The Armor said Pam's a bad person. Listen, what I'm seeing just in politics, there's just a lot of bad people in politics in general. So I'm learning a lot this year, 2025. has been very eye-opening to me as it pertains to politics. I would say it's the most tapped in I've been when it comes to politics, which is why, I now do content centered around it, because now I have more of a vested interest in it. And I just think that that's just a part of just growth, where some things we start to take more serious than before. So it's time that, we do kind of take this political thing serious, because it impacts all of us. And you just, when you know better, you do better, and you just got to know, what's going down, so you know how to move. And that's kind of where my interest comes from. It's driven from when it comes to politics, just kind of knowing how to protect me and my family, my children, things like that. You just got to know what's going on. So I just try to stay tapped in as much as I can, so therefore I can come out here and share what I've come to learn with you all, and we can just talk about it together, for the sake of just understanding, because it's a lot, and I don't claim to have all the answers or the best understanding, but I do choose to come out on the internet and just talk about just what I'm seeing and hearing, just to get the conversation started. So together we can kind of gain an understanding and just help one another come to just better understand what's going on, as to, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes it's a challenge just to narrow down on just topics as far as what I want to talk about. And that's why a lot of times my lives will turn to be very long, because it's so much going on. And sometimes, I'll take breaks because it's so heavy, to where I'll try to get some breaks in between lives. So, normally during the week, I can do upwards of 4 to 5 lives. So it's a lot. But I thank you all for tapping in. Can we get to 200 likes before we end this live? We're at 194 likes. Can we get 6 more likes? Let me try to get through some more of these comments. But like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what's your thoughts. Do you believe the Epstein files, it really exists with the names on the list? Do you think that the reason why they are not dropping the list, releasing the list, because some of your faves are on there? Do you think Donald J. Trump's name is on there? Do you think Pam Bondi's name is on there? Like, why do you think that now suddenly the list does not exist? Now, I've been hearing a lot of people say, well, if it doesn't exist, why is Ghislaine locked up? Remember, she was the partner of Jeffrey Epstein, his girlfriend / partner, his right-hand woman. She's locked up. So what exactly is she locked up for if there's no list? And there was trafficking. So who were they trafficking the children, the young girls to? Who were they being trafficked to? Was they just being trafficked to Epstein? So was she going out there, getting the girls, doing whatever, and just bringing them to Epstein? Was he just messing around with the kids and the young girls? What we doing? What exactly was she charged with? What exactly? And I heard that even during her trial and all of that, Trump's name had came up in it. His name was brought up in the mix, because there's pictures and things out there of him running around with Epstein like they were friends. But now Trump just, he says he can't, the way he speaks now, it's like he just can't stand the man. But there's plenty of pictures and things that I've seen out there with him, buddied up, taking pictures with Epstein. So where are the files? How do we go from, do y'all remember back earlier this year, maybe February, Pam was it was on a Tuesday or something, and Pam's like, oh, I'm gonna release the files by Thursday. Do y'all remember that? Thursday have long come and gone, and then now it's once Elon kind of started talking about him, saying, oh, the reason why the list isn't out is because Trump's on it. Now the Trump administration want to come out and say, oh, okay, about those files, there's nothing to see there. So it's the timing for me. Boss said everyone hit the like button for 200. Thank you so much. We got 200 likes. Thank you all. First and last says pictures don't mean anything. No, they don't. Pictures don't mean anything. But when you have pictures connected to someone who once says something existed to now saying they don't, those pictures is not helping the cause. But you're right. Pictures don't mean anything. But sometimes pictures accompanied with a story. You see what I'm saying? Pictures accompanied with a story can kind of strengthen it and give it its legs. So, you know, it's just kind of putting all the pieces together. But I get you, though. I get you, though. No, pictures don't mean a thing. But it's just unfortunate that these files did not come out. I think if they were to ever come out, it would be have to be through a leak. Maybe WikiLeaks or somebody hack a system and gain access to the information and it gets released. But as far as with the current administration or any administration releasing it, I don't see that happening, because even under the Biden administration, they didn't release it. And remember, that's why Trump was hollering, you know, when he was running, oh, if I were president, you know, I definitely investigated and see what's going on and all of that. And who else was saying that? People in his cabinet, Dan Bongino, you know, prior to, he was kind of on that same tip of saying, something's got to be fishy, you know, given that the Biden administration isn't doing this, this, and that. So I think that's why everybody's looking at the Trump administration with the side eye, is because the way they ran on, hey, we're going to bring light to all of this. We're going to get down to the truth. That's what they ran on to get the votes. So fast forward to today. We're in July 2025, July 11 to be exact, and we still have no Epstein files before us. Like where they at? You got the votes, like where they at? So when you got someone like Elon out here saying, well, the reason why you all haven't seen it is because your boy, your favorite president, is on there. A lot of people don't believe it, but at the same time, some are like, well, it makes sense, because why else wouldn't he release it? Why else not release it if he isn't on there? Or, you know, some people who, my initial thought, really, you all, when they weren't released, I didn't think Trump was on it. I more so thought that felt like people who he had close ties to or relationships with were on it. So you know how you just like, oh, snap, they was a part of the situation. All right, then no, we can't release that because, yeah, we just can't. So that was pretty much kind of where I was at with it. Not really on Donald Trump, but more so just him knowing people who were on there, and then it just not being a good look. So he's like, yeah, we can't let this get out, you know, for him, because he wanted to protect those people and also himself if they were people who were connected to him. So I don't know. It's an entire mess, but it doesn't look like we will be getting those Epstein files. Why? Because they say they don't exist. There is no list. Epstein and Ghislaine, they was just running the show by themselves. I guess trafficking girls, young girls and minors just to themselves, I guess. There was no clients. I don't know. Make it make sense, right? Make it make sense. Nika says, what the hell? Pictures mean a lot when they prove exhibit A through C, just like crime scene pictures matter. Well, that's what I was saying. You know, pictures by itself is one thing, but when you got pictures with a storyline, then those pieces to the puzzle that you start putting together. So again, it's centered around context. It's centered around context. But they said, listen, there's nothing to see over here, boys and girls. They even released video footage of Jeffrey Epstein's outside of his cell and showing that no one entered his room. Like, listen, they tried it. And it's giving that no one believes it, whether you are a supporter of Donald J. Trump or not. I have yet to listen to anyone do commentary on believing what the Trump administration is putting out there. But it is, it's not looking good. I will say it's not looking good for the Trump administration. And the boys and girls are fighting, from what I hear, which is why allegedly Dan Bongino is leaving the FBI. I don't know if if it's finalized yet. It's some information I kind of learned before I went live. So I'll have to kind of deep dive more into that over the weekend to see what's going on. But word on the curb is that Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi are fighting behind the scenes. And maybe it's centered around, I would imagine that it's centered around whose idea was to get out there in the media and talk about files existing. You know how people kind of start kind of passing, the blame and things like that, especially when you're both on a chopping block. One person want to say, well, you said to do this. Well, you said to do that. Y'all know how it goes. You know how it goes. But at the end of the day, I feel like, they were moving how their boss, Donald J. Trump, wanted them to move. I feel like they were moving how he wanted them to move. So we'll see, TY said fake news. We'll see if, Donald Trump will come out and speak up more on their behalf, because I know Pam has definitely been getting dragged for filth. A lot of people are, I think Laura Loomer, is that her name? She's calling for Pam to be fired. And then, people, Dan Bongino, he like, listen, I'm just about to go ahead and just chalk up the deuces and be on my Elon Musk and do my own things. So I think that there's probably going to be more to come from him. He has a big following, and he's going to speak his truth if he does leave, he will speak his truth. And I think that at that point, it's going to be every man for themselves. And it's just going to be people throwing one another under the bus. And he's going to be like, yo, listen, I was told this is, you know how people do when they try to protect themselves. I just think it's just going to be a lot of fighting, within the Trump camp. It's going to be a lot of fighting. It is a lot of fighting, and it's going to continue to happen. And in all, it's just all a distraction from the things that we really should be focusing on. It's just a distraction. But this is what happened. What they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And this is what happens when you play with the people, because I really feel like the Trump administration came out here playing in the faces of the American people when it came to these Epstein files. It started out, for the purpose of getting the votes. And then once they got the votes, continuing with the engagement early on, to keep the attention on Trump, as he gets settled into his new presidential term. And then it got to a point to where it's like, all right, then we got the people's attention. Let's try to focus their attention on the mass illegal immigration roundup. I just think they tried to just shift the attention. And I think it was working for a minute until Elon came in and just Elon. I think every night they all cuss Elon out, because it kind of got silent. I know I would have side conversations with people like, whatever happened? I would ask my husband, like, where's these files at? But when Elon went on Diddy's internet and said, y'all, the reason why these files, it kind of opened, just opened up that can of worms to bring it out to the forefront again for people like, wait a minute, Pam, you did say. And here we are. Here we are. So, yes, I think, Elon get cussed out every day by everybody in the Trump administration in multiple languages. And Elon and Baby X are at home just laughing. At home just laughing. So this is what happened when you play on the people's tops. So do I feel sorry for anybody on any side? I do not. I do not. And that's on that. So I thank you all. It's been a wonderful live. Thanks for tapping in with me this Friday. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm sure I'll come back live this weekend with more shenanigans that's taking place in these political streets in the USA. Until then, take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the taking care of yourself. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, awesome moderators, for modding the chat. I'm sure it was probably going down today. A lot of people were not here for much of what I had to say, but it's okay. It is okay, because I speak my truth over here. So that's what it's about. I speak my truth and give share my my opinions on what I see playing out. And I'm not for everyone, but those who I am for, I appreciate your support and you tapping in with me. And listen, we welcome everyone. Just be respectful, right? Just be respectful. We all have opinions. I just happen to have a couple of YouTube channels where I'm able to come out on this internet and share my opinions. So make sure you follow me. Follow me also on my second channel, Chic Speaks. And that's what I just react to or cover content outside of politics. So that's just where all the other shenanigans go down at. This is kind of my political channel, so I try to reserve all of that over here. But when I want to see, talk about what's popping off with like the Diddy shenanigans, what else? I need to talk about the Gervonta Davis, that boxer who just got another charge for domestic violence. When I seen his mugshot, I said, Lord, please don't tell me this man done caught another charge for putting his hands and feet on another woman. And sure enough, Gervonta Davis, I believe that's his name. He's a boxer, professional boxer. Yeah, he just caught another charge, a DV charge for putting hands on his baby mother. So it's a whole mess. So if I do get into that, it will be on my Chic Speaks channel. So this is Chic Speaks on it. This is my political channel, political talk. Chic Speaks. It's just all other shenanigans. Robert says, what shenanigans are you talking about? All other shenanigans are on Chic Speaks. So make sure you follow me over there. But yeah, thank you all. Happy Friday. You all be safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, road to 5,000 subscribers. Nika says, Chic, thank you. Job well done, sis. Thank you, Nika. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you all for tapping in with me. I will catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.